Welcome to another Deadline stream. Thank you very much for tuning in. A very early one today on the 2nd of April, and the deadline is 1.5 hours away, so try to lock in your teams. I've already I've already made one transfer. I think it's a bit too early for me, and I brought in Weghorst in for Jimenez, but I might make one more move and get Reece James in for Cody. I'm just not too sure if James is going to be too nailed in the long term, at least in the Premier League. There are so many games for Chelsea, Manchester City and all these teams. I actually can't afford Cancelo. Maybe he would be my preference long term, but ultimately in game week 31, I think Reece James will start. But let's just wait and see. There's so many things to think about. And I made a kind of maybe boring move. I don't like Weghorst, just to make it clear. He's got 1 goal, 2 assists. We went through his stats multiple times in my videos and streams, and I don't suddenly think he's great. And I still think if it wasn't for Jimenez being injured, well, not even injured, suspended for pretty much until game week 34, I think Weghorst wouldn't be as popular this week. He's still got around 6% ownership, which is surprising, but that's why sometimes the Twitter community and the YouTube community, the noise is very loud there. But let's get through your questions. And we did a stream the other day where we were focusing mainly on the teams and stuff, so we couldn't get through every single question. I'll try my very best to do so today. Welcome, True Fandela. Thank you very much for the super chat. It's much appreciated, mate. Barnes to Salah and Tony to Weghorst from -4. I'd say yes. I think it's worth it. And Barnes you can always bring back in for someone else like Rafinha if you have him. But I still think it's worth the -4. Yes, Weghorst faces Manchester City, but that Everton fixture is very enticing. And then you look at Salah, I think that's a huge upgrade, at least for this week. So yeah, I'd say it's worth a -4 for sure. So thank you very much. I'll try to go through the other questions as well. But yeah, appreciate it. And if you want to support the channel, send super chats, join Patreon, but it's completely up to you. Thank you very much to True Fandela once again. Welcome, Lager. Thank you very much for tuning in. Genius Gamer. Andy N says, Cancelo or James to replace Trent long term? I'd say Cancelo long term, just because City have something more to play for than Chelsea in the Premier League. So I think it makes more sense to go for Cancelo. Yeah, I agree a bit. Welcome, SR. Foden to Havertz. I'm not sure, because Foden could be benched this week, but then you could even say the same thing about Havertz. I think I wouldn't make that move right now, to be quite frank. That's the way I see it. Mohammed says, start Craig Dawson or Odegaard? Good question. I think I'd go for Odegaard, but that's a bit of a tough one. Maybe I have to reconsider. Thank you for the super chat, Angsty Writer. Much appreciated. Thank you very much. And thank you to everyone for tuning in today. Walker's banned from UCL, so he might start instead of Cancelo. That is a good point, actually. That is a good point. And the thing is, though, with Pep, he likes to build rhythm. So you wouldn't be too surprised if Zinchenko gets a start and Cancelo gets some minutes at least. But yeah, Walker has been slightly out of favour in recent weeks, but yeah, it does make sense. There's so many different, explanations and viewpoints that you can really view this Pep Guardiola lens. But yeah, that's an interesting one. Hi there, Dylan. Welcome, Eddie. I did a -4 to get Cancelo, Havertz, Gelhardt. I could take another -4 to get James for cash. It depends. If cash is starting for you, then maybe that -4 is worth it. But if you look at the next 2-3 Premier League games, for example, will James start all of them? I'm not entirely sure about that. But yeah, I think the -4 is fine, what you took, and you don't need to take another one. Abyss says, Kane for Laka, Cancelo for Trent, Pope for Ramsdale, Gordon for Kulusevski, and Tony to Greenwood. Last 2 transfers just to get Kane. Yeah, is it worth taking a -16? I'll have Salah, Son, Kane. I'm not sure. I don't think it's worth a -16 this week personally. Obviously, look, sometimes it can be worth it. You sort out your problems. It's kind of like a mini wildcard, and then you don't really need to take hits for most of the season, if not the rest of it. But I don't know. I'm not sure if it's worth a -16, especially when you're getting rid of some players like Kulusevski, who could do pretty well this week. Sarr and Ramsdale, my keepers. Who to play? I'd play Ramsdale just in case he's actually available, and if he doesn't, Sarr comes in anyway. So I think I'd go for Ramsdale. And if you want to take them out, it'd be for Schmeichel or Pope, I'd say, yeah. Welcome, Lager. Thank you very much once again. Good morning to you, Lipuk. The Golden Boys as well. Doherty to Roberts from -4. I actually wouldn't do it. That's just my opinion. Maybe people think differently, but I personally wouldn't. Best 5.3 million defender. Already got Ben White, James, Cancelo, Robertson. I mean, I would say Tierney, but you already have Ben White. So, yeah, Doherty is still up there. Great fixtures. So, I'd say Doherty's up there, yeah. Hi, Dylan. Buy Cancelo, Laporte and Havertz, or James and Foden, or Cancelo, Laporte and James. I would go for Cancelo if you can, and Havertz. Yes, that would be my preference. All right, let's see. What else do we have? So, yeah, let me try to catch through all of this, but yeah, it's going to be quite difficult. So De Gea to Pope or Jimenez to DCL? Great question. I'd say Jimenez to DCL just because he's suspended until Game Week 34. Just bear in mind that Everton are even worse away from home, and both of their fixtures in Game Week 31 are away from home. De Gea, you can actually use in Game Week 33 and possibly navigate that week without using the free hit. So I think I would go for Jimenez to DCL. Yeah, Anu, unfortunately today, probably not. Obviously, if you put your team in the live chat, I would try to get through as many as possible, but it's not the main focus of this. It's just to go through questions and, yeah, obviously that can be part of a question, but I'm not going through them, on screen. Havertz or Foden? I think Havertz, actually, yeah. Good morning as well, Flying Dutchman. Thank you very much for tuning in. What to do with Trent? I'm looking to wildcard in Game Week 33. In that case, you could actually get rid of him and then bring him back for Game Week 33 or whenever. But it's difficult. I still think that there's a possibility he starts, and just because of that, I'm keeping. But if you're wildcarding very soon, then I can see why. You could also consider using the wildcard in 34. That is another possibility for you, Abhishek. Today is first of Ramadan, and Salah's going to be fasting, so it's risky. Yeah, I still think he will do well, but yeah, there's a lot of different things you could say about Salah. I've seen a lot of doubters about him, but his effective ownership and the amount of captainers, it's going to be insane. Foden or Havertz for the free transfer? I actually prefer Havertz, but it could be a case of Foden ends up starting, Havertz doesn't this week, or vice versa. It's really hard to tell. Both of them will be subject to rotation from time to time, but Foden has been more nailed than we actually originally thought throughout the campaign. Coutinho, keep or sell? I think right now he's a sell, but you can always bring him in around Game Week 34, especially if he has that double against Burnley. But I'd say he's a sell right now. I want a Chelsea player, but who? Impossible. Reece James, Rudiger. Rudiger's the safe pick, but if you want someone a bit more exciting, it's Reece James. And in the midfield and attack positions, for me, it's Havertz. There's also Mason Mount. I wouldn't really look anywhere else right now from those four players. Jimenez to Ronaldo. I honestly would prefer Kane. Obviously, Ronaldo has that double in 33, but yeah, Kane for me is the best striker right now, so I'd go for him. Let's see. Willock to Foden or Cody to Cancelo? Great question. I think I'd do Cody to Cancelo because Cody and Wolves blanking Game Week 33. Yeah, I think I'd go for Cancelo. What to do with Trent? Yeah, I already answered that question, mate. Lacazette to Ronaldo? Another one asking that. So I think, honestly, with Ronaldo, I can see why, but I'd rather go for Kane. I wouldn't go for Ronaldo over Kane. What about Bowen? He actually could be fit in time for this game. I think Lanzini was involved in a car crash, if I'm not mistaken. So, maybe they are in need of someone to come in for them. But Bowen, I think, has been recovering nicely. Hi Dylan, who to start, Cash or Doherty? I would go for Doherty, yeah. Welcome, George. Thank you for tuning in, mate. I don't have Salah. I have Kane plus Son. Would you bring in Salah or keep Son for the next three fixtures? To be fair, I could see both of them scoring a similar amount. If you look at the fixtures, Salah obviously plays City in Game Week 32. That's a fair shout. You could just keep Son. But yeah, still, if it was me, I think I'd end up doing Son to Salah, personally. -8 taken for James, Cancelo, Salah for Trent, Coutinho and Cody. I actually like those moves, even though Trent could bite you, but the others, it just makes complete sense. That's really good transfers. Long-term Foden or Havertz? Like I already said before, Havertz, yeah. Start Tierney or Doherty? I think I'd go for Doherty, actually, yeah. And that's why in my team, as you can see here, I've gone for Doherty there. Tierney's my second sub. He could be first. I'm not too sure about that, but yeah, I've gone for Doherty. Good morning, Mickey. It's nice to be back. Yes, thoughts on this, please? Getting rid of Wolves assets, so Jimenez to Weghorst and Cody to Reece James for a -4. Mickey, that's exactly what I could do. The only difference is it would be for free. I think it's a good set of moves. Just bear in mind that Reece James, if we look at those fixtures, he could be benched either in Game Week 31 or in 32. That is a big possibility. I don't expect him to start every single Premier League game, unfortunately, especially with Chelsea fixating on the other competitions that they're still in and have a good chance of winning. Mahrez or Havertz? I'd still say Havertz, to be honest, yeah. Look, the thing with Mahrez, I really like him when he starts. The problem is he doesn't really start enough. Sometimes he just gets benched out of nowhere. Bowen to Havertz or Cody to James? I do Cody to James. 8.5 for some good defender. Well, that's pretty much anyone because Trent is obviously the most expensive. I'd say Robertson, Cancelo and James are the top three. I'd probably say Cancelo from now until the end of the season. Sell Ramsey to Lennon, Brownhill or Gordon? Honestly, I don't like any of them too much. I'd say Gordon, yeah. Havertz or Mount? I'd go for Havertz. Ramsey or Cody off the bench? I'd rather have Cody, actually. Watkins to Weghorst, yep. I think, look, Weghorst isn't amazing, and I talked about him multiple times. I still don't like him. It reminds me of Jimenez when I brought him in. But yeah, I think it's a good move. Bring in Pickford, Weghorst, and Barnes for -8. It depends who you take out, but yeah, I think that looks pretty good. Start Barnes or Kulusevski. I'd start Kulusevski just for the fixture, but Barnes could do well against Manchester United. Hi, Dylan, Martinelli or Broja, who to start? Well, that's a great question. I think I'd go for Martinelli, but really tough one. Ramsdale and Sanchez updates. Well, with Ramsdale, I still don't think he's trained. There might be an extra update that I'll check later on, but I haven't seen anything, to be honest. And as for Sanchez, I haven't really heard too much, in recent days, but before, obviously, there were some doubts surrounding him. I think one of them will definitely be available. I backed Ramsdale to be available for Game Week 31, but let's wait and see. I could be wrong. KDB for Son. I probably wouldn't do it this week. I can see why, and he's a great differential KDB. He could do very well, but 4 games in 11 days, that would really scare me as a KDB owner. Thoughts on Cancelo being rotated? I think it's possible in Game Week 31, but long term, he's probably more nailed than Reece James, and he's a great option, to be fair. Group B says, could you look for the predicted team? Is this for the predicted points? If it is, then I can bring that on screen in a little while. Trent to James for a -4. I wouldn't do it for a -4 because if Trent starts this week, I think he could easily, punish you there. Jimenez and Kilman for Reece James and Havertz for a -8. Yeah, I actually like those moves, to be honest. Yeah, this looks pretty good. United States or Iran to win in the World Cup? I'm not sure. I remember in 2014, Iran were pretty tough to crack. I remember, obviously, completely different manager with Carlos Queiroz, and they were pretty good. I think I'd still say USA, but I don't know. I haven't seen enough from both teams, and it'll be interesting to see. Ghana to win the World Cup. I think they're the lowest ranked team in the World Cup, unless some of the teams that are going to qualify. But I'd like Ghana to do well. Actually, yeah, I always like them. Any news about Trent? Will he play? There's no more news than what I said yesterday in my video, basically, but he's been training. So he's in full training yesterday, and he has a chance of starting. But yeah, I think he will have those minutes built up, and Trent is very important for Liverpool to break down these teams that are sitting in a low block. He's going to be very crucial. So I think he will start, but honestly, it just depends on his fitness. If Jurgen Klopp thinks he's going to risk it, then I think it's just going to be a bit of a bad one. So one sec, let me just do this. All right, that's done there. All right, so thank you very much. We've got over 200 people watching. If you haven't already, smash the like button and subscribe if you're new. It really helps out the channel, so thank you very much. And yeah, we've just over an hour until the deadline, so we'll wait and see what happens there. Let's see. Okay, this is all good. All right. Yeah, just keep smashing the like button. All right, let's go through this. So Weghorst comes in for the regular 2 points up front. Yeah, hopefully he gets 2 set of 2 points, and then we can get 4 somehow. Cancelo or James? I think long term I go for Cancelo. Hi Dylan, what do you think of Pope and James for Dean and Sarr? I like those transfers, to be fair. I think they make sense, Stephen. The only thing is James, don't expect him to start every single game. Trent to Cancelo. To be fair, it's a good move, and I would be inclined to do it if I had Robertson, but I don't know. Just getting rid of Trent for me, it just doesn't seem right. Yeah, wasting out. I don't think Trent is playing. Let's just wait and see. It's going to be interesting. It's going to be one of the big pieces of news that we get within the next few hours. Hey Dylan, KDB for Kulusevski. I probably wouldn't, just because Kulusevski offers such great value, and I'd rather have Kane and Salah as your premiums, and even Son. Is there any idea of when Villa-Burnley game will be rescheduled? It looks like Game Week 34 is a possibility. That seems the most likely. So obviously I can't tell you that for sure, but that's what most people predict. I think it should be Game Week 34. Sarr for Pope and Podence for who? Yep, Sarr for Pope is a good move. There's also Schmeichel and Podence for who? It depends what your budget is ultimately. But Kulusevski and Saka, if you can afford them, I'd definitely go for one of them. Below that price point, you're looking at maybe Gordon just as your 5th bench fodder option, or Jacob Ramsey. But yeah, around 5 million if you want someone around that price specifically. I think Martinelli could be decent, yeah. Hey Dylan, James or Creswell? I'd go for James, yeah, definitely. Should I get Pope for Ramsdale or James for Trent, or both for a -4 if I have Tierney and Broja on the bench? Tierney and Broja on the bench are fine, I think. Pope for Ramsdale could be good, but if Ramsdale is available as soon as Game Week 31, I actually still prefer him over Nick Pope, despite fewer doubles and games to be rescheduled. Gordon and Pickford for a -8, good moves. Honestly, I'd probably say no, and it also depends who you take out, but Everton have a woeful away record, they're poor defensively, and Gordon is just a 5th midfielder. He's there to sit on your bench, so I don't think it's a good move personally, but it also depends who you get rid of. If it's players that are going to be missing out, then yeah, fair enough. Kucha hat-trick today against Liverpool. No chance. Watkins to Weghorst. Yeah, I think that looks good, Manda. Predicted lineup or in the nose. Yes, so, I mean, I can try find it on Twitter or anything, but obviously I don't have anything myself, so it has to be something that we see on Twitter. I think I saw something yesterday, but I have to bring it up as well. But most people predict Reece James to start and Joao Cancelo, which is what we're all interested in. But yeah, that doesn't necessarily translate all the time into who's going to start. I remember, I think, Game Week 27, everyone thought Mahrez would start and he ended up being benched. So Havertz to Coutinho. I'm guessing it's the other way around because I wouldn't be bringing in Coutinho right now for Havertz. So yeah, I think Havertz in for Coutinho is decent, to be fair. Start Lacazette or Tierney? That's a good question. I think maybe I'd go for Lacazette, but it's a quite difficult one there. Yeah, Mesut Ozil, I think, yeah, Coutinho to Havertz is a decent move. Just bear in mind, just like with Reece James, he could be rotated. Even in Game Week 31, actually, I'd be more worried about Havertz than Reece James. -4 for James and Kucha, or -4 for Kulusevski, or any other option, and Kane. Yeah, I'd go for the second sell option, so Kulusevski and Kane, yeah. Desire. Is Man City as important to get? Is Cancelo better than James? I personally think that Cancelo is better than James just because he's more nailed and City have more to play for. That's pretty much it. But in terms of if you look at the minutes Reece James has and the goal output, it's frankly insane. But yeah, I think Cancelo's important, maybe Laporte. But if you look at their attackers, it's just they have so many different sources of goals and they rotate quite a bit sometimes. So I think I'd rather go for Cancelo and Laporte if I had to pick any City players. It's important, but you don't absolutely need it. Listan asks, ¿qué pasa con Trent? ¿Se va a empezar el partido con Liverpool o no? Yo creo que sí, pero puedo estar equivocado, así que vamos a ver, pero creo que sí. Va a ser muy difícil. Why everyone's selling Wolves defenders for Everton Burnley players doesn't make sense. It's because Wolves blanking 33, they're in pretty poor form, and these players have doubles. Obviously, I don't really advocate for Everton and Burnley players in the, overall, but Jimenez to Weghorst makes sense anyway. He's suspended. Yeah, I think it does make sense though, but I can see why you're a bit concerned. Which Liverpool attacker to cover Salah? I mean, I would just go for Salah, but if you want to cover him, I guess I'd go for one of Diaz or Jota, but I just think there's going to be too much, sharing of minutes there. Kulusevski to Barnes for a -4, I wouldn't do that. Whether it's Barnes to Kulusevski or Kulusevski to Barnes, I wouldn't do it this week. And yeah, Barnes has Man United, by the way, so if you're doing the reverse, then I just don't really see why you do it. So yeah, if anything, get Barnes in for Game Week 33 right now. I wouldn't do a -4 for that. Hey mate, Che Adams to Weghorst and Dewsbury Hall to Salah captaincy for a hit. I like that Salah captaincy, bringing him in, but Che Adams to Weghorst, I'm not too sure. If it's the only way you can afford Salah, then go for it. But otherwise, I try to resist on Che Adams to Weghorst, Toby. Time to offload the Spurs boys soon. Maybe around Game Week 34, 35 onwards, maybe. But then they've got a double in 36 as well. I'm not too sure. Maybe you can trim it down a little bit so you go from 3 to 2. But I don't think it's time to get rid of all of them. Kane captaincy over Salah. Yeah, I've seen a few people say that he's psychologically distressed. I'm not sure about that. Look, Kane is in better form than Salah. That is undeniable since the African Cup of Nations. But Salah is still incredible. He can get penalties, and I can see what you mean. And statistically, even the stats would back Harry Kane. He's got a good record against Newcastle. And I actually said the only player I'd consider over, Salah for the captaincy is Harry Kane. But I personally will still go for Salah. Captain Salah or Robertson, I'd go for Salah. For me, I really think Havertz won't play this game week. I have a feeling that could be the case as well. Yeah. Start Bowen or Tierney, I'd go for Bowen. Richarlison or DCL, I'd go for Dominic Calvert-Lewin. Would you take a hit to do Saiss to James and Trent to Robbo? I'd do Saiss to James. I wouldn't make the other move, but if it's needed to fund Reece James, then yes, it could be worth it actually. And Robertson offers better value right now. But yeah. Thoughts on Richarlison? Honestly, look, if you look at the returns this season, they're woeful. He's very inconsistent. He's doing well for his national team, but not for Everton. And Everton's away record is poor, so I don't really back them too much in Game Week 31 necessarily. And they've been an awful team all season. But I'd actually rather go for Dominic Calvert-Lewin or even Weghorst. But yeah, I'm not a big fan of Richarlison right now. But he could be a nice differential. Who knows? But not for me. Thinking Trent, Bowen, Jimenez to Salah, James Mateta. I actually like those moves. Bowen could actually be available, Josh, in Game Week 31. And as for Trent, the same thing actually, and he's someone that you probably want to get in at some point again. But I like those moves for a -8 a lot. If you had to guess, do you think Liverpool Trent will play? And I don't understand the subs. What does 1, 2, and 3 mean? I think Trent will play, but that's a gut feeling. I could be wrong about that. And as for the subs 1, 2, 3, it just means the order of your bench. So whoever's first on your bench is most likely to come on. So Broja in my case, but you need to fill in certain quotas. So you need at least 3 defenders in your starting 11, and the same goes for your midfield. You need at least 2 midfielders and 1 attacker. So you need a valid formation as well. So sometimes it will skip. So let's say, for example, Trent misses out. It's not Broja coming in for him, and we're going to have like a 2-5-3 formation. Tierney would then come in. He's my second sub, but he's my first defender, which is the priority substitution. So hopefully you understood that. Region to Seis, I would not do that. Region to Seis, I don't think so. If anything, I do Seis to Region, and even then, I'm not sure. Diaz is interesting. Yeah, I mean, the thing is, I'm still not too sure. But yeah, he's been decent. Yeah. Martinelli to Gordon for a hit? No, I would not do it for a hit. Will you be 3-5-2 for the remainder of the season? Not necessarily. It's just the formation I have this week, and if I bring in someone like Reece James, I could actually be 4 at the back most weeks, so it doesn't really matter what formation I am. DCL fitness update. I think Lampard was pretty positive about his fitness ahead of Game Week 31, so I'd expect him to start one of the games at least. Will Reece James start? Yes, I think in Game Week 31, but I'm more concerned about his minutes in the long term. So in the next 3 Premier League games, how will he do? So this is my team right now. I made that one transfer, Weghorst in for Raul Jimenez. I'm going to try show you some different stuff as well. So let's check the price rises very quickly. And as you can see, Weghorst, almost 200%, and he still hasn't gone up, which is crazy. I actually brought him in just before his potential price rise yesterday, but it didn't happen. Ben White is also projected to rise. Same with Cucho, Doherty, Mane, Martinelli, and a few others like Dewsbury Hall, which is interesting. In terms of those that are looking to go down, Alexander-Arnold, no surprise there. So those of you who get rid of him, you might only lose maybe 0.2, 0.3 million in value, which isn't too bad actually. Dennis, Bowen, Dean, Livramento, Willock, me, etc. They're all destined to go down eventually according to FPL statistics. So that's pretty much it. And now let's go through the predicted points courtesy of Fantasy Football Hub. So in Game Week 31, Salah is projected to be the highest scoring player with 8.6. Calvert-Lewin and Richarlison make the top 3, which is very interesting. It also depends on the minutes for Calvert-Lewin and his fitness. Mane is 4th. Nick Pope is 5th, despite that fixture against Manchester City. Bruno Fernandes is up there. Weghorst, Ronaldo, Damari Gray, and Pickford. So a lot of double game week players here. I'm not a big fan of most of them, if I'm being honest. I've said this all along. Even Weghorst, who I brought into my team. Coleman, Son, McNeil, Kane. So all pretty much an identical points. De Bruyne, Robertson. Make of this what you will. Even Van der Beek is up there. So yeah, it should be a pretty interesting week. I think most people will be captaining Salah and bringing in Weghorst. That is going to be a bit of a popular strategy this week, but you never know. And sometimes breaking up the template is pretty good. And I'd also recommend checking out premierinjuries.com just for all the latest injury updates and everything like that. So if you have any, kind of concerns, all of the reports will be accounted for in this website. So now I'll show you my FPL.team. So this I showed you in my team selection video. So draft 1 versus draft 2, Weghorst versus getting Harry Kane in and taking a -4 on the right hand side. But we can also show you this. So this is how my team is lining up right now, as you saw. But I could make one more move. I've still got one free transfer and I have exactly enough money pretty much. I think I'd have 0.3 million left to do Cody to Reece James. So if that's the case, I can bring him in and then maybe bench. This will be a difficult one, but maybe Doherty could be benched, or Kulusevski, even Rafinha. But I think I'd do, maybe Doherty. That's a bit of a difficult one. Maybe Doherty will be first sub, and then Broja, Tierney will make up my bench. So let me know. Would you go for Reece James in for Cody? I think it's a good move, but having that 2 free transfers going into Game Week 32 could be very interesting as well. Is Rafinha keep or sell? For the next 2, I'd say keep, but then he's ultimately a sell, as I talked about in my transfer tips. Captain Salah or Kane? I'm going for Salah personally, but both are good. Welcome, Jamie. Thank you very much for tuning in. Would you start Broja or Seis? I'd actually go for Broja if I had to pick one. Play Sarr or Pickford this game week? Just for the double, I'd go for Pickford, but I wouldn't expect much. Start Coutinho or Tierney? I'd go for Tierney, I think, but never underestimate Coutinho, I guess. Trent to Laporte, already have Robbo, and 8 Nuri to Laporte for a hit. That is tough. I do like 8 Nuri to Laporte actually a lot. Well, I'm guessing it's Trent to Cancelo, Lion Gaming. So Trent to Cancelo and 8 Nuri to Laporte. Let me know if that's the case. If so, then I think it could be worth it, actually. Ramsey or Broja? To start, it has to be Broja for me. Coutinho to Kulusevski? Yes, I think that's a good move, Genius Gamer. Welcome, Matt. Kilman to James or Cancelo, then following week, Jota to either Havertz or Foden. Personally, I prefer Havertz over Foden, even though Foden might be more nailed this season, especially with City having more to play for. And as for James or Cancelo, I'd actually go for Cancelo in that case. So maybe it sounds a bit counterproductive, but I'd go for Cancelo and Havertz. Pedence, Fraser or Ramsey? I think Fraser, sorry, I nearly said Ramsey. Yeah, I'd say Fraser, especially if you're looking to start this player for most weeks. If you want a bench fodder option, just go for Ramsey, but yeah, Fraser for me. Salah or Kane captain? I would say, yeah, Salah. Once again, Nabil, no need to spam the chat. Yeah, let me just deal with this. All right, so we'll get Gordon. Gordon's just the fifth substitute, really. So, yeah, I wouldn't really, and by fifth substitute, I mean fifth midfielder as a substitute. So, yeah. Dubravka ready for Gameweek 31? Yes, I believe so. He's been in training, so he should be available. Play Broja, Barnes, White, or Mateta? Good question. I think I would go for Broja or Barnes. Yeah, I'd go for that, probably. Jimenez, Son, Ramsdale. Who's on my bench to Weghorst, Salah, and Foster from -4? Who's on your bench? To Weghorst, Salah, and Foster. Yeah, I think those moves are fine, but Ramsdale to Foster, especially if you don't have another goalkeeper, I'm not sure about that. But the other two moves look good. Cancelo or Robertson? I have Virgil. I guess I'd go for Cancelo, but both are really good. There's not much to split Robertson and Cancelo. And actually, if you look at the last 6 to 10 game weeks, Robertson has been better. -4 to get in Havertz for Coutinho. I'm not sure I'd do it for a hit. For a free transfer, maybe. Any Trent news? Nothing more yet. You know, I might be behind or something. There could be some news. I'm going to search on Twitter quickly, see if there's anything, but I haven't seen anything right now. So it would be great if we could get an update or something, but yeah, I'm not really expecting it, to be honest. Bench Ramsey or White? I'd bench Ramsey. Yes. Welcome, Cyril. Going Havertz and switch to Foden, Gameweek 33. Thoughts, Dylan? I think that's, you know, I can understand that move. It's just, it could always backfire. It could be Foden being benched by the time you bring him in, potentially. I mean, both players are a bit of a conundrum sometimes, to say the least. But yeah, I think that makes sense. And Foden long-term is probably the more nailed pick. So yeah, I like that. Hopefully Havertz starts for you in Gameweek 31 and 32. Havertz or Salah captain? I'd personally go for Salah. Sarr and Trent, Pope to James. Yes, I do like that. Should I triple captain Havertz, Kane or Salah? I honestly wouldn't triple captain anyone this week, but if you wanted to, I'd go for Kane or Salah. Probably Salah in my case. That's my preference, but both would be good. Robert to Trent, I'm using a wildcard. Thoughts, mate? Yeah, on a wildcard, I would rather have Robertson right now, just because he's not an injury doubt heading into Gameweek 31. He's in great form, so I'd go for Robertson. Do you think Martinelli covers Saka? He's a good option, but I still think Saka's better. I'd rather have Saka. Is Salah to Son from -4 necessary? I'm guessing it's the other way around, Anu. I definitely wouldn't get rid of Salah for Son. If it's the other way around, I wouldn't do it for a -4. Yeah, I think I might just stick with Son in that case. Cody to James from -8. We'll have to bench Doherty. Ooh. Yeah, no, I wouldn't do that, Joseph. I just stay with Doherty, stick with your -4. I wouldn't take a -8 for that. First sub, Hwang, Ramsey or White? I'd go for White, actually. Yeah. Is Sterling or Mahrez better? When they start, I actually prefer Mahrez, especially in terms of value, but I think Sterling is probably the better option. Just, he's going to be benched from time to time, so yeah. Yeah, Alan says Mahrez, fair enough. I can see why you say that, yeah. Don't have Robertson or Cancelo. Should I hold Trent? In that case, I think that's a tough question to answer. And if you back him to start, and I do, but I could be wrong, then I would just keep Trent. But otherwise, if you have any doubts, which to be fair, a lot of us do have, I'd go for Robertson maybe or Cancelo. Either one is fine. Maybe Cancelo's the better one long term, arguably. Hi, Reece James or Rudiger? Rudiger's more nailed and he's the safer pick, but I'd go for Reece James just for the upside. Tomiyasu is back. Arsenal are not rushing him, but he is in good condition apparently. But yeah, Arsenal are not going to rush him. Okay, sorry about that. Jimenez, Son, Ramsdale is the only player out of those three that is on my bench to Weghorst, Salah and Foster for a -8. Is the only players on the bench. Well, either way, yes. I think those transfers are good, by the way, Weghorst, Salah and Foster, but I just don't like the Ramsdale to Foster move, especially if you have no other goalkeeper, basically. Trent and Ramsdale flag, Kilman, Livramento and Foster, the backups for both. Bring in Pope or just replace Coutinho for Foden, Mount. Yes, yeah, I see what you mean. Bring in Pope. I still like Ramsdale a lot, but yeah, there's a chance he doesn't play in Game Week 31. Pope is a good move, yeah. Just to replace Coutinho with a Foden or Mount, I think that's more of a luxury move compared to Ramsdale to Pope potentially. So yeah, I think maybe Ramsdale to Pope. Bench DCL Firmino. I mean, I wouldn't bench DCL if I had him. I'd bench Firmino in that case, even though he scored a hat-trick against Watford last time, so it's up to you. Let's see, what else do we have? Rudiger to James. For free, I would consider it, but for a -4, definitely not. Salah or Kane captain? I'm going for Salah. Salah or Havertz captain? Yes, Salah. Pretty much for me, Salah, Kane are my top 2 captains, and anyone else compared to them, I'm not going to really back them to, for the captaincy. Coutinho or Broja? My keeper is Sarr. I'd rather go for Broja. I mean, just for the fixture, but maybe it's foolish to bench Coutinho. Trent to James. Some really tough questions being thrown about with Trent. I mean, I personally wouldn't, and I've decided to keep Trent myself. First sub, Kilman or Cash? I would actually go for Kilman just because I back Wolves a little bit more, which could be a mistake. Maddison out, Saka in? Yes, I like that, Mohamed. Although Maddison does have a double in 33 as well. Is Son to Salah for a -4 worth it? It could be, especially if you captain him and he does really well. I mean, the thing is, I think Son will score similarly to Salah in the next 3 game weeks, so I'm not sure. I personally wouldn't do it, if possible. Is Ramsdale injury-free? I'm not even sure if he's been training. I need to, see if there's any updates. But yeah, he's still having an injury problem. So it's going to be a really tight race until Monday. He's going to have a late fitness test. Same with Saka. I'm a bit more confident, and so are Arsenal in Saka, but I'm not too sure about Ramsdale. All right, let's see. What else do we have? Alonso to James for free? Yes, I'd do it for free, yeah. Although Alonso could start this week as well, so just bear that in mind. Alright, so let me bring up the predicted table again, the predicted points, just for those who missed it. Just a little water break, and then we'll be back with your questions. So we are back. Damn. So, thank you for tuning in this very early morning. We've got less than an hour left until the deadline. But yeah, let me know. Who do you think is going to be the high scoring player this week? I'm guessing most of you say Salah or Kane, but maybe some of you have a differential in mind like Richarlison. Who knows? I mean, even Fantasy Football Hub backed Richarlison to be the 3rd highest scoring player, which is pretty crazy. So yeah, here we go. I'll go to this screen. You can see who my captain is. So Salah is my preference, but Salah Kane is a big debate to be had. I think that's the key captaincy question that I'd be quite curious about. I'd still go for Salah, but yeah, Kane definitely has a shout. He's in better form as well. Thank you, Henry, for the super chat. Thank you very much. Son to Salah for a -4. If captaining Salah, if not Kane. I mean, to be fair, captaining Kane and having Son as well isn't bad. Spurs actually tend to struggle at home to Newcastle, but it's tough. It's really tough. I mean, literally just a few moments ago, I was kind of apprehensive of doing Son to Salah for a -4. If I had to pick one, I'd say, yeah, I'd go for the -4, but you don't have to. That's the thing. And captaining Kane is not that bad. Like I just said, Kane and Salah, very, very close in terms of captaincy this week. There's not much to separate them, but thank you very much for the super chat. Son or Kane? Long-term Kane. Just for the structure, there's not many forwards to choose from. And despite Son offering potentially better value, he's got more points this season, I still think Kane is probably better from now until the end of the season. Trent to premium defender or Sace to premium defender? Sace. I'd rather keep Trent. Reece James or Cancelo? Who do you think will get more points considering their UCL matches? I think Cancelo, just because he's going to start more games. City will probably keep more clean sheets. And with Reece James, I think he might occasionally be on the bench and rested for the FA Cup and the Champions League. Barnes to Mahrez, I honestly wouldn't, because Barnes also has a double in 33 and plenty of games yet to be rescheduled. I don't really see the upside to it. Mahrez could explode this week. He's a really good player, but I'm not sure if it's worth it. Maddison or Rafinha to Salah? if you're looking at this week, then Maddison isn't as good as Rafinha on paper, but I honestly would rather keep Maddison just because long-term better fixtures and more doubles. So I'd rather get rid of Rafinha, actually. You're using the free and 33. Okay, fair enough. But Maddison is still a good option beyond Game Week 33. That's my point. But yeah, if you're looking at the next two, basically, and that's what you're mainly focused on and not beyond 33, then just keep Rafinha. But for me, I'd rather have Maddison. That's just the way I see it. James or Cancelo in? Yeah, for me, Cancelo, if you can afford it. But it might be a case of James starting in Game Week 31, Cancelo doesn't, but long term, I think Cancelo's more nailed. Newcastle win the game. I wouldn't mind that, to be honest, even with triple Spurs. Barnes to Odegaard? No, not for me. I'd rather have Barnes. I may need Nuri to Reece James and Trent to Laporte for a hit. If you need that money, to do 8 Nuri to Reece James, then maybe, but even then, I'm not sure. I'd be more, inclined to do so if it was Cancelo instead of Laporte, but Laporte is a good option as well. Thank you, Henry. Dennis and Bro out for Weghorst and a 4.6 million striker. Yeah, to be honest, yeah. The way I see it, Harry Kane, maybe a Weghorst potentially, and a bench fodder option as your forward line is probably the way to go right now. The lack of forward options is pretty frustrating, so yeah, I think so. I have Cornet as a differential. Well, good luck, mate. Hopefully it turns out well for you. I remember a lot of people were very hopeful in Game Week 27. It didn't really happen, but Cornet had some injury problems heading into that week. But then again, even Weghorst, all these options that everyone brought in, like Pope, didn't do the business. So, welcome, Mark. Yeah, I'm doing well. What about you? Thank you very much. Keep Mount or swap to... keep Mount or swap to... Yeah, I'd keep Mount right now. I guess I'd keep him, yeah. Is Cancelo going to start? I'm actually a bit more concerned in Game Week 31 anyway of Cancelo starting compared to Reece James, but I think he still starts. But maybe I'm being too positive today. Kane, Salah, Son, Gordon, Mahrez, Saka, Rudiger, Doherty, Cancelo, Van Dijk, Pope. Isn't this team good for a minus 16? It's a good team, I'm not denying that, but a minus 16, I'm not sure. And some of the players you'd get rid of in order to get that team, I'm not sure if that's actually worth it this week. Because you're taking multiple hits to get rid of players that could do very well and actually even better than those you bring in. So you actually lose out on a lot of points. But it's up to you. I wouldn't go for a minus 16 personally. But it might work out for you. Thoughts on Cornet instead of Weghorst? I mean... Both of them aren't necessarily great options, to be fair, but I'd actually rather go for Weghorst for a few reasons. One, a lot of us had Jimenez. It's an easy swap to go for Weghorst. And two, there's so many midfielders. It's a bit similar to the Son-Kane debate. So, yeah, you'd rather not waste one of those precious midfield spots on Cornet, potentially. But having all said all that, it might be Cornet turning up and Weghorst is the one that blanks. I'd still go for Weghorst, though. Standout captain besides Salah and Kane? Honestly, there's not many for me. Like, obviously, Reece James at home to Brentford if he starts could be great. There's Cancelo if he starts away to Burnley, or even Robertson, Trent. But I'd say Son is up there, like top 5. If we're looking at any double game week players, maybe Weghorst, I'm not sure, or one of those Everton strikers. But yeah, I'm not really feeling it. Welcome, Lipuk. Is Rudiger out for James dumb? I don't think it's dumb, but I wouldn't do it for a hit. If it's for free, I would consider it just for the upside. Just bear in mind, Rudiger will probably start more games and play more minutes naturally than Reece James until the end of the season. Would you consider Robertson captain? No, I honestly wouldn't. Alright, play Gallagher or Watkins? That's a good question. I think I'd go for Watkins if I had to pick one of those two. James in for 31 and 32 and then reassess in 33, 34 with free hit and wildcard. That makes sense. Yeah, I think that's a good point. I'd expect Reece James to start in 31. I'm just not sure about Game Week 32. Start Tierney or Coutinho? I would go for Tierney. Yeah, already answered that. Would you... Let's see, what else do we have? I took a break away in Norwich visiting family this weekend. Hopefully you enjoy it. I've actually been around that area, so like Norfolk, for example, before. So yeah, hopefully you enjoy it and have a great day, mate. And yeah, I've had a pretty long break as well, despite, videos pretty much every single week, but or every week, every day. But yeah, I've also been kind of taking a little break as well. Trent and Cody to James and Cancelo from -4 with only Ramsey as cover, or Cody to James and keep Trent only for 2 game weeks. I actually like that -4 Marco, with only Ramsey as cover, or Cody to James and keep Trent. I do Cody to James, yeah, and keep Trent. But I actually like the -4 as well, to be quite frank. So anything you do, I think will be fine, to be fair. I've taken a gamble on corner and DCL for James Ward-Prowse and Jimenez. Good luck, mate. I mean, Jimenez to Calvert-Lewin, you're not really missing out on anything. Jimenez is obviously suspended until Game Week 34, so that's good. Yeah, any early Liverpool team news? I haven't seen anything. If you see, any source, any reliable source on Twitter, then let me know. But in terms of, be very careful on Twitter. There's a lot of fake news going around sometimes, so you've got to be careful with that. But I haven't seen anything about Liverpool team news. I'll try to see if there's anything. But yeah, nothing right now. Yeah, nothing yet. Welcome, AGC. Thank you very much. Happy birthday, Vivan. Wow. Posture check. Yeah, no, this is not Twitch, mate. It's not Twitch. Laporte or Rudiger? That's a good question. I think I'd go for Rudiger, but very tough. Cancelo in, Trent out. That's a good move, actually. If I were to get rid of Trent, it would be for Cancelo, Robertson or James, definitely. So it's a good move. But just bear in mind, if Trent does start in 31, you might regret it. That's the only thing. And I think he might, so that's why I'm personally keeping him. Any use in taking out Trent for James? There is a use, but it also depends on what you think about the situation. Do you think Trent's going to start or not? No, Trent is not out, confirmed. No, he's not. Best Man United asset right now? Arguably Sancho, I'd say. But heading into Game Week 33, a lot of us will still probably go for Bruno Fernandes, Cristiano Ronaldo on a free hit. Maybe Sancho as well, but triple United attack does seem a bit excessive, especially when one of their doubles, involves Liverpool away. So, yeah. Should I take out Tony for Verkos for a free transfer? Yeah, I think it's worth it. Just the amount of games, basically, that he has at his disposal. Start Sancho, Doherty or White. I'd actually go for Sancho out of those three, then Doherty, then White. Trent, Ramsey and Lacazette to Cancelo, Havertz in a 4.5 million forward. Yep, I actually like that, to be fair. Dead end that third striker spot, that makes sense. Start 2, Rafinha, Brownhill, Kilman, Lacazette, Broja. I'd start Rafinha and either Lacazette or Broja. Up to you, who you decide for. I'm not sure if Broja starts, and that's why I would be inclined maybe towards Lacazette, but if Broja does, then I think he's actually a better option than Lacazette, a better goal scorer anyway. Should I play Mahrez or transfer him for Havertz? If you have Mahrez, then I'd start him, but I'm just not sure if he's going to start, to be fair. Havertz is another doubt that I have for Game Week 31. Should I get rid of Son for Havertz this week? No, I would not get rid of Son for Havertz. I don't think it, no. Unless it's to fund Harry Kane up front, definitely not. Kyle Walker starts. It's difficult. I don't think it's as clear-cut as he's suspended for the Champions League. He's definitely going to play in the Premier League. I'm not sure about that. Pep likes to build up fitness for these fullbacks, so I'm not too sure. But if you're asking me, I think Walker starts, but it's up in the air, just like anything Pep or Tuchel related is. Maddison or White for the first bench? I'd actually go for Maddison, but quite tough. Richard puts his team. I like it. Even your bench is decent as well. Broja, Willock and Thomas, Foster. You got Jose Sarr. I think long-term, Richard, you probably want to address the goalkeeper position, especially if you're not free hitting in 33. So Sarr to Ramsdale by that time, Nick Pope or Schmeichel could be very good. Your defence is good, although right now you could arguably get rid of Cash for someone like, well, I'm not sure what your budget is, but even Doherty could be good. Salah, Cornet, Barnes, Kane, DCL. It's a good team, to be fair, but the goalkeeper position is something I'd address for 33 if you're not using the free hit there. Cancelo or Robertson this week? I guess I'd go for Robertson, yeah. Even though some people think Tsimikas will start, but I think, yeah, Robertson. Will Diaz start? I actually have no idea with who's going to start with that final, Liverpool spot. It could be Jota as well. He's in good form. But if you're looking at what's been happening in the Premier League recently, then you'd say yes. For me, Salah and Mane start. I'm just not sure about that final spot. But if I had to pick, it'd be Diaz. Just not too sure. Best goalkeeper for Ramsdale? Schmeichel, Pope. I'd go for one of those. Do you think Trent will start? I said I personally think he'll start, but I could be wrong. So don't, hold me to that. You have to back your own gut and your own decision. I could be completely off the ballpark there. I'm trying to see if there's any Liverpool news as well, by the way, but no, I don't think there is anything. Nothing on Twitter, unfortunately. Laka and 8 Nuri to Vekhorst and James. I like those moves, mate. I like it. Do you think Laporte will play? Yes, I think he will. I heard Ake might come in for left back as he was played previously against Burnley for the height, so Cancelo, Walker may miss. Yeah, that's a possibility as well. Or even Zinchenko just to build up that match rhythm for the Champions League where he's probably going to start against Atletico Madrid. So there's a lot of possibilities for City. Take a -4 to get in Cancelo. For who though? If it's for Trent, I probably wouldn't. For the -4, sell Dean and Kilman to get White and Marty. No, not for a -4. Elanga will start. I got him in my team as a budget player. I think Elanga will start, but I'm not sure. He's not really someone I'd want to start this week necessarily, I guess. But against Leicester, yeah, it's a good fixture. But I'm just not entirely sure about it. I basically just went with my gut, and it's kind of 60-40 in favour of him starting, and I could be wrong again. First on the bench between Watson or Dawson. Oh wait, did I just kind of butcher that, didn't I? Watson or Dean? Is it Watkins or is it Dawson? But yeah, let me know. Salah will start? Yes, I think so. Captain Havertz, should I change to Salah? I would go for Salah personally, but always back your gut. News currently is that Trent will be benched. I haven't seen where that is, Alex. If you can, try to point us in the direction. But yeah, I haven't seen anything about that. I'll try to see if there's anything on Twitter or anything, but... Yeah, no, I'm seeing kind of an unreliable source saying that, Trent Waite continues for Liverpool and Milner could be forced as the right back. I mean, I'm not sure if that's true. Keep Coutinho or transfer him out for a -8. Getting Kulusevski or Mount or Havertz for him. I actually would rather have Kulusevski, but would I do it for a -8? No. Welcome, Versta. Thank you very much. Do you think it's the right time to use the wild card? If your team is in a state, then yes, it's the right time right now. Otherwise, I'd say Game Week 34 is probably the best time to use it, or 35, especially if you're looking to bench boost in 36. But yeah, it ultimately depends on your team. And if you're happy with it this week, then you don't need to wild card. -4 to get in Cancelo for Tierney or Doherty. That's a good question. I think I'd rather keep Tierney, just because Arsenal have a slightly better defence. But yeah, it's a tough one. Doherty does have the better fixtures, to be fair, but I think Tierney's more nailed. Havertz in for Mount with my 1 free transfer. I'm not sure if I would do a switch like that. I probably wouldn't. Bowen or Coutinho for Havertz. I'd actually rather would sell Coutinho right now. I think Bowen will start, but that's also very risky. No news at Karaki on Trent. I'm trying to find anything. Apparently someone in the chat said that he's going to be benched. I'm not sure if that's true. Laporte in for Kilman, Foden in for Coutinho, and Weghorst in for Wood. Your thoughts? I like Laporte in for Kilman, Foden in for Coutinho also. Yeah, they're all good transfers, mate, all of them. Foden in for Coutinho, I mean, there's other ways you can go about it, like Saka, Kulusevski, etc., but that's a good move. Morning, Kobe. Thoughts on doing Son to Martinelli and Jimenez to Kane? If it's for free, I think that's pretty good, actually. My preference is always Saka over Martinelli, but that's good, Kobe. I like those transfers. DP puts his starting 11. It's a solid team, mate. You've got Weghorst in there, Broja, Kane. That's a good strike force. Probably one of the best you can assemble this week. A decent midfield as well. Even Barnes could do well against United, so that's good. Your defence is also solid, yeah? Cash is the only one that, looking at the fixture, I'm not sure about. And maybe if Ramsdale misses out, you might be in trouble with your goalkeeper situation. But that's good. Good team. Current team. Any ideas? 3 million in the bank. Wow, that's a lot. So Rafinha, Coutinho, Broja, Watkins. I'm not sure how many free transfers you have, Arjun, but okay, so by Game Week 33, if you're not free hitting, I would probably get rid of Rafinha. Coutinho you could get rid of now, actually. This is a bit of a difficult one because if you had 2 free transfers, what you could do is Son downgraded to someone like Kulusevski and then upgrade one of your strikers like Watkins to Kane. But honestly, looking at this, you could do that, or if not, you can just get rid of Coutinho, and yeah, you could just do Coutinho to Kulusevski for free. So up to you. Let me know. So you've got how many Spurs players, just to make sure? I think, yeah, you've got 2. So you should be able to do either of those. How's your F1 fantasy going? I think pretty well. I brought Perez in actually ahead of the last race in Saudi Arabia, and he got pole position, and he was very unlucky not to get points. He obviously got points. He got 4th, but he was very unlucky not to win the race or be on the podium at least. With that kind of dummy call by Ferrari. So yeah, it's very unlucky. He's a very unlucky driver sometimes, I'd say. Does anyone else think UK people should take a page from the French and protest these ridiculous energy prices? Yes, I think so, to be honest, yeah. I think you're completely right about that. Sarr or De Gea? I'd say De Gea long term, just because of the double in 33, Wolves blank. Yeah, I'd say De Gea. This week, I'd rather play Sarr, though. Yeah. But yeah, try not to spam the chat, please. Thank you very much. Is Diego Jota going to start? I think it's between him and Diaz. I'm not sure who's going to start. I kind of prefer Diaz, but then you also have to factor in all of them. You know, even Mane, Salah, everyone played in international duty. So in very crucial games as well, by the way, for all of them. You know, everything was at stake, you know, for the World Cup qualification. I think Diaz is going to start, but I could be wrong. And Jota's in good form. I'm surprised that he doesn't get more, minutes. Minus 16 this week. I need to take it or wildcard, or should I wildcard in 36? The thing is, if you're looking to take a minus 16 and you'd want to make other transfers a bit, then you might as well wildcard right now. It just depends if your team is really in a state, you know, in this position, and if your wildcard sets you up well for future weeks, like 32, Double Gameweek 33, 36, etc. Cancelo or Reece James? I personally go for Cancelo, even though I'm more confident about Reece James starting in Gameweek 31, just to make that very clear. I think long-term Cancelo is the more nailed pick. Thank you, Marco. My team rests on an early team news, but I doubt we'll get it. Yeah. Thank you very much, Marco, for always tuning in. And yeah, we just have to wait and see. And if, for example, we get any news of like Reece James starting for sure and Trent being benched or something like that, then I'd probably get Reece James in for Cody. And let me actually put a poll out and see what you guys think. Obviously, I might still make this move anyway, just for the bants and just for just kind of chasing the upside. But let's wait and see. So on Cody to James, yeah. All right, so we're going to put this poll out. So use the second free transfer to do Cody to Reece James for free, obviously. Second free transfer. So just put your thoughts there in the poll. Yes or no? Cancelo, Reece James. Yep. I already answered that, didn't I? So that's my fault. Let's try to go through. Yeah. So I missed a few questions here. Start Doherty or Gordon? I'd actually still go for Doherty, but maybe that's my mistake. Hi there, Verkels for Jimenez? Yes. Look, I don't like Verkels too much, but it's a simple move. Even if he blanks, he gets 4 points this week, unless he gets a yellow or red card. But yeah, I think so. Goalkeeper to change, Ramsdale, Dubravka. I think Dubravka, one of those should be available for sure. Dubravka's in training. Ramsdale could be back, you know, whether today or tomorrow in time for that Monday game. So yeah, I wouldn't do that. I'd rather go for Verkels than for Jimenez. Is it too late to start F1 Fantasy? It isn't too late, but obviously you missed out the first 2 races, so you're going to be playing catch-up. But no, it's not too late. I think you could still play. Schmeichel, Robbo, James, Tierney, Doherty, Salah, Kulusevski, Saka, Havertz, Diaz came for a -4. Yeah, it's a good team. I'm just not sure which players you're bringing in and bringing out for that -4, but that's a good team, definitely. Do you think Jimenez, Watkins and Coutinho to Kane, Gelhardt and Martinelli is worth a -4? I actually think yes, it's definitely worth it, Michael. Yeah, Arjun, once again, I'd probably go for Cancelo anyway. Yeah, and you already have Rudiger. Yeah, I'd rather go for Cancelo. Same as me, weak goalkeeper. Yeah, I mean, a lot of us are in a situation like that, you know, with one goalkeeper basically, and then they've got an injury problem or something. My son's team, Sarr, Dyer, Thiago, White, Cancelo, Saka, Salah, Captain, Cornet, Kulusevski, Lacazette, Kane. Bench Foster, Rafinha, Broja and Tsimikas. That's a good team, you know, to bench Rafinha as well. Yeah, that's a good team actually. So hopefully your son and yourself, Richard, do very well. That's a great team. Son or Kulusevski. They're different price points, that's the thing. Now, for me it's Son. I still prefer Son, but if having Son means you can't have Harry Kane, then I just go for Kulusevski and go for Kane. So hopefully that makes sense. I'm not sitting on the fence. Son is a better option, but it's difficult to compare these two players when they're at completely different price points, but both are good, basically. But Kulusevski offers better value right now. How old are you? I'm actually 23 right now. This is a birthday stream, but obviously we're just focused completely on this stream right now. Is it worth taking a hit for Son from Coutinho? Yes, I think it is worth a hit, actually, yeah. Trent news? No news, mate. I'm still looking, but haven't seen anything. Your poll is James, but I did Trent to James this week. Yeah, fair enough. I mean, look at this. 84% are just saying go for it, which is crazy. If I could, I would go for Cancelo, but I'm 0.3 million short, I think. Yes. I have, what, 6.6 million? Yeah. Average bench with Watkins, Dean and Broja, but that's still decent. That's a decent bench to have, I think. Bench cash for Tierney? Yes, I would start Tierney. Mateta versus Weghorst? Mateta might be the better option in the end, cheaper, better enabler, and probably producing similar returns. Palace have some great fixtures too, and they're a better team. I just think a lot of us have been burned by Edouard. He seemed nailed, had good underlying stats, and in the end he got benched out of nowhere. But I'd go for Weghorst just for the sheer number of doubles he has, if you can afford it, but both are good. Kulusevski or Barnes long term? If you're looking at the doubles, then you'd probably say Barnes. But yeah, if you really want to chase those doubles, go for Barnes. But I actually prefer Kulusevski personally, just looking at how he's been since he's joined the league. Is Kulusevski, let me try to get this message up. Yeah, worth the money? Yes, definitely. He's one of the best value players in the game right now, in my opinion. If I have a good bench to replace Arnold, should I keep him or just sell him for Robertson? If you've got a good bench, I'd just keep him, personally. Yeah. I'll try to get through all your messages, so thank you very much, by the way, to everyone who's sending birthday wishes. Let me just try to get through the stuff before as well. We're 33 minutes away from the deadline. Let's wait and see what happens. Wait and see. So yeah, hey Dylan, would you rather have Cancelo and Laporte or Foden and Laporte? Cancelo and Laporte. I'd actually rather double up on City defence, and it also offers better value. Yeah, no news on Trent right now, as far as I'm aware. Should I play all three Spurs players this week? Son, Kane, Doherty? Yes. The only one you could bench is maybe Doherty, but you're not going to bench Son and Kane, are you? Should I get Son for Salah? I would not get rid of Salah for Son, mate. No chance. Hello, Dylan. Ziyech, Foden or Havertz on a wild card? I'd go for Havertz. Just bear in mind there is a chance he doesn't play in Game Week 31. Lukaku could be the one playing here against Brentford. If you have Trent and Dean, who would you start? Trent, mate, all day long. Even if there's an injury doubt, I'd start him. If you can only buy Cancelo or Bruno, who would you choose? Still Cancelo, despite Bruno's double in 33. My wildcard team, says Mohammed, 0.5 million in the bank. That's a good team. I like Kucha, by the way, as your kind of enabler, third striker, Weghorst, Kane. I'm not sure about Odegaard, personally. But obviously, if it's a question of budget, you've only got 0.5, you can't go to Saka. I try find a way to get Saka in, but you'd need to downgrade someone else. You've got Pope and Dubravka, so you're kind of sorted there, but maybe you could consider a downgrade. Cancelo, Robertson, James White, Dawson. That's interesting. If you could, I would maybe downgrade Dubravka to a cheaper keeper and then do Odegaard to Saka, but you'd have to go for a 3.9 million goalkeeper anyway. That's a good team, by the way. You don't need to change anything. Dawson, I'm not sure about. So, yeah, maybe you could go to Tierney, but you got White already. Doherty is also good instead of Dawson, Mohammed, but that's a good team. There's not much really to pick apart there. Watkins or Broja to start? I'd actually go for Broja. What is your best ever finish? I've only played 2 seasons in FPL, so 67k and 55k, nothing special really. Welcome, Kerwin. What are your transfer plans? I've made 1 transfer, so Weghorst in for Jimenez, standard stuff, but I might also make another transfer, second free transfer, and get Reece James in for Cody. I can afford it. Thank you, Karaki, for the birthday wishes. My birthday's on the 5th. That's crazy. Wow, yeah. I'm literally 1 day off at April 4, so yeah, figure that out. But thank you very much, Karaki, and obviously happy belated birthday to you as well in advance. We might even be doing a stream or video by that time, so I can obviously wish you happy birthday then as well. Havertz or Son looks like the differential this week. Yes, but I'm not sure I'd go as far to captain them, but yeah. Thank you, Lager, for the birthday wish. Thank you very much, and for always tuning in. Same with Karaki. Do I do Dean, Trent, Adams and Kilman to Laporte, Robertson, James and Weghorst worth a -12? I like those transfers a lot, by the way. Laporte, Robertson, James, you're stacked there. You know what? I'd actually say yes. It probably is worth a -12. So wait, you're getting rid of Adams as well, is it? Oh yeah, for Weghorst. I actually do like Adams a little bit, I don't like strikers a lot, but it's still worth a -12, I think. Or do I just do Dean to James or Adams to Weghorst for free? I'd do those 2 for free, if you can, but the -12 would be worth it, potentially, yeah. Thank you, J Ham, for the birthday wish. Thank you very much. Is it worth taking a hit for Son to Salah? Potentially, if you're going to captain Salah, but if you have Kane and you're going to captain him, you don't need to. I think that's the kind of big question there. It's a luxury move. You don't need to make that transfer. Son could do very well against Newcastle, of course, but I would maybe go for it. Maybe fear of missing out on Salah would get the better of me. Thank you, Coopsy Coop, thank you very much. Much appreciated. Always tuning in. Same with Sidindra. Wow, we're really far behind, by the way, so yeah, apologies for that. Which teams are going to double in 36? It's not completely confirmed, but teams like Arsenal, Leicester should double. Same with Spurs, I think Liverpool. But yeah, obviously we'll know more closer to when we get there, but yeah, I'm pretty sure those teams would double. Is it worth taking a hit to get a trade safe for Roberts or James? If so, Roberts or James, plan to not free hit in 33. Yes, I think it's worth a hit. Even if James might be a bit of a kind of rotation risk from time to time, I'd rather go for James over Roberts. Plan not to free in 33. I mean, Roberts is good because he also doubles in 33, so it's a good way of navigating both. And James plays Arsenal in that week, but I'd still go for James personally. My defence this week is James Rudiger, Cancelo, Robertson on the bench. Matip. That's a very good bench. Yeah, that's solid. Thank you, Richard. Much appreciated as always. I hope you receive a good score for it. Thank you. I mean, it'd be typical if I get a pretty bad score, but let's wait and see. Thank you very much, and hopefully you get a great score as well. Same with your son. Thank you, Chelsea Lukaku. Thank you very much, and thank you to everyone else. Bench 2 of Broja, Doherty, Lacazette or Tierney. Bench 2. Yeah, I would. That's really tough for me, by the way. I would maybe bench Tierney and maybe Broja, just because I'm not sure if Broja starts. Otherwise, I'd go for him over Lacazette. Welcome, Bins Love Bro. Cash to Laporte, James, or Creswell to Laporte, James. I'd actually rather do Creswell because Cash could have a double in 34 and he's got great fixtures from 34 until the end of the season and more doubles. So I'd go for Creswell out for James, but Laporte might be the safer pick for you, mate. Yeah, you could do both moves for a -4, but I personally wouldn't. Do I start Weghorst for Doherty, Trent or Tierney? For Tierney for me. Garlic bread. What a name, by the way. Play Tierney or Broja? I'd go for Broja, maybe. And that's kind of what my bench is saying. You know, Broja's first on my bench. Rafinha still testing positive on COVID? That's pretty much like 2 weeks ago. I don't think so. He was kind of omitted from the Brazil squad for that problem. And I think, obviously Brazil and South America have different protocols compared to the UK right now. So, yeah, no, I think Rafinha should be fine. Definitely. I'd be very surprised if he isn't. Which City defenders are locked in? In the long term, Cancelo and Laporte are the most nailed and the best assets in general. But in Game Week 31, Cancelo could be benched. There is a possibility. I'd expect him to start, but you never know. Is it worth taking a hit from Son to Salah? Like I said already, yes, it is worth it. But that's just a luxury transfer, basically. CR7 for Kane, I would not do that. Definitely not. Was this about it being your birthday, Dylan? In case, thank you very much for Flying Dutchman. Yes, it is. It's just because someone asked me how old are you, so I was just like, yeah, well, I'm 23 now, basically. So yeah, it is a bit of a weird day, and also the fact there's a bloody deadline as well. But yeah, I pretty much got like 5 hours sleep probably, just to let you know. Obviously, you probably didn't ask that anyway. Thank you, Kobe, for your birthday wishes. By the way, which two would you start of Adams, Kulusevski, and Doherty? I'd go for Adams and Kulusevski. But Doherty's a good option too. I'd go for Salah captain, mate, but Kane's good also. If I had Kane, I'd heavily consider it, but I'd still go for Salah. Sell Trent still to get Cancelo and James. That's a great question. I still would keep Trent, Golden Boys, personally. Thank you, Brian, for the birthday wish. Thank you, my Fairground M. Thank you very much. Thank you, Mickey. And hopefully you have a brilliant day too. Your birthday is to be the first day of Ramadan. Yeah, I never actually thought of it that way, but yeah, people pointed out to me in primary school, secondary school, etc. So yeah, thank you very much, Adil. Best goalkeepers for this week and 33. I'd say Nick Pope, just because he has a double this week and in 33. So Junior, I'd probably say him. Any love for Calvert-Lewin? Look, if you look at the predicted points, he's actually second highest behind Salah this week, and I think if anyone does anything for Everton, it'd be Calvert-Lewin. I'm just not sure. Everton are awful this season. Their away record is especially poor. But I'd go for Calvert-Lewin over Richarlison. And also, I actually did a statistical comparison between him and Weghorst the other day. And Calvert-Lewin is much better. XG, underlying numbers, etc. So take of it what you will. But I think Calvert-Lewin might be a bit underrated this week. But I just don't like him too much. I got burned by him already this season. Pope for Ramsdale if Foster backup goalkeeper. Yeah, I think that makes sense, especially if you don't think Ramsdale's going to start. It's a great move, and he also doubles in 33. What to do about Ramsdale? I mean, I'm a bit lucky because I've got Jose Sarr to come off my bench if needed, but for those of you with only one goalkeeper, you could make a move to Nick Pope or Schmeichel, I think. I back Ramsdale to start, by the way, but I could be wrong. Rafinha or Harrison? Rafinha for me. Coutinho to Maddison or Rudiger to James? This week, I think Rudiger to James could have more upside, but long term, maybe Maddison is the better move, Jack. So I go for Coutinho to Maddison, but I'm not sure about the timing this week necessarily. Hoping Trent Robertson doesn't come back and bite me in the next 8 game weeks. I mean, if you look at the last 8, Robertson has been better, so he'd be a bit unlucky in a way, but both of them are top quality players, so anything can happen there. Best Jimenez replacement. I mean, obviously Kane is the ideal one, but looking at the ones around his price, I'd probably say Weghorst just for the amount of doubles he has, but I don't like Weghorst, just to make that clear. I don't like him as a FPL asset right now anyway. Thank you for the birthday wishes, IDJP. Mine will be the April 10th, so Cody or Trent for James. Yep, wow, April 10th. I know quite a few people with birthdays around that time. Cody or Trent for James? Cody. All day long for me. Happy birthday, man. Hope Arsenal delivers UCL for you. Thank you very much, and good luck with your team as well. Let me know which team you support. But yeah, thank you very much for that. It's a great wish. Coutinho, Maddison, yeah, already answered that, Jack. Not for the name garlic bread is funny, but how is the profile picture a photo of toast? Yeah, I don't know. YouTube has some very great and creative usernames. Garlic bread. Happy birthday, bud. Have a blast. Thank you very much, Roy. Thank you very much. And pretty much I'm just saying the same thing, but obviously I appreciate it. Use the wildcard. Any suggestions? Schmeichel, Dubravka, Chalobah, Tierney, Cancelo, Matip, Amati, Son, Brownhill. Okay, so I personally prefer, this is just my opinion, Junior. I'd prefer Gordon over Brownhill. Saka instead of Martinelli. Obviously, you'd probably need money for that. I like Kane, Cucho, and Saint-Maximin, actually, to be fair. But you could go for Weghorst this week instead of Saint-Maximin. Doubles in 31 and 33, etc. And looking at your goalkeeper, Schmeichel, Dubravka's good. Chalobah, Tierney, Cancelo, Matip, Amati. Okay, so it's interesting. So you've got Son as well. I like the fact that you have Salah, Son, and Kane. But what you could do is downgrade Son to a cheaper midfielder. You can bolster your defence, so you can go Chalobah to Reece James. You can do Matip to potentially Robertson. And also maybe downgrade one of your other defenders in the process. Do something like that. Maybe downgrade Son, but it's up to you. If you really want to go for those 3, it might be the best course of action, but I'd rather balance it out. That's the way I see it. Dean to James, I have Rudiger. Yes, I'd do it. I'd do it. Welcome, Hamid. I'm doing well. What about you? Thank you very much. Thank you for always tuning in. Thank you, Junior, as well. No problem. Obviously, this is fun anyway, and I was looking to do the stream yesterday as well, but I don't know. I was just looking to see if there's any more news today as well in the morning, and a lot of people prefer the Saturday one, but it's very difficult. Whenever I put polls, it's very tight between the two, so people just want to see streams, basically. Tomiyasu likely to play. Keep Cedric or sell? I think Cedric will play. I don't think Arsenal will rush him back, and that's pretty much the news that's coming out from Arteta and the camp. Should I keep Jota or replace him? I'd personally replace him, but it could be a double-edged sword because you could get rid of him the week he starts and then does very well against Watford. So it's tough, but I'd honestly probably sell him. And in terms of who, you have Havertz, who's also another rotation risk, so maybe that's counterproductive. I'd say Saka or Kulusevski if you don't have them. Ramsdale to Pope, if I have Foster on the bench and 2 free transfers, yes, I'd say maybe, especially if you're concerned about Ramsdale starting. I think he will start, but that's different, of course. If you don't think so, then yeah. Dragon asks, Jimenez to Weghorst, King to Lacazette and Martinez to De Gea -4, or just Jimenez to Weghorst and Sace to Cancelo, no hit. I'd go for the second set. So Jimenez to Weghorst and Sace to Cancelo. I think that's a great set of transfers. And thank you very much for the birthday wish, mate. Thank you, Deadly, for you too as well. And same with you. All the best today and also the rest of the year. Richarlison or Che Adams? I actually prefer Che Adams. He has a double in 33, good fixtures. I actually would go for Che Adams. This week, Richarlison's probably the better option, but long term, I prefer the Southampton forward. Should I keep... Yeah, already answered that, sorry. Pickford over Pope, as I have Ramsdale on the bench already for Double Gameweek 33. Fair enough. I still prefer Pope. I think his ceiling is higher as well. Should I play Mason Mount or transfer him out? I'd probably keep him, Joshua, if I had him. Salah or Cancelo for captaincy? I'd go for Salah. Would you start Pickford or Alisson? I'd actually go for Alisson, yeah. Pookie for Dennis? Yes, I think that's a decent move. I mean, I'd rather go for Weghorst just for the doubles and a few others, but you can't really go wrong there, I think. Thank you, Golden Boys, and hopefully you have a great day too. Thank you very much. Coutinho, Kulusevski. For me, Kulusevski right now. I need to bench one of Trent, Rudiger, Thiago Silva, Cancelo. Thoughts? Oof. I'd probably bench one of those Chelsea players. So Rudiger, Thiago Silva, maybe Thiago Silva. Both of them have, great threat from set pieces and their aerial threat, so that could backfire, but I'd bench one of them. Antonio to Weghorst or Trent to Robertson, or say free transfer. Antonio to Weghorst, just for the doubles. Yes, Ryan, I'm thinking, like the poll says, I'm looking to do potentially Cody to Reece James. That's what I'm looking to do. How far behind are we, by the way? I realised I'm a bit far behind, so I'm trying to get through these as much as possible. Thank you, Jay, for shouting out the stream. As he says already, smash the like button and subscribe if you're new. It'd be much appreciated. And yeah, well, the sun has gone already, so yeah, maybe I have to change the lighting a bit. It looks like I'm in a dark room or something. So yeah. Thank you, Junior, again. The beard is nice, thank you. I mean, I personally don't think so, but thank you very much. Matip for Doherty. No, I wouldn't do it. Connor Roberts for Cedric worth a -4? Potentially, to be fair, but I think Cedric will start anyway. How long have you playing FPL? Basically 2 seasons. This is my 3rd one. Same with UCL Fantasy, where I finished 20k and 4k, and now I'm in a good position there, but in FPL, 67k and 55k, so nothing special, but not too bad, in my opinion. Is selling Trent worth it if I get Laporte, James and Robertson in return? Well, yes, those players you're bringing in are really good, especially James and Robertson. Currently have Dean and Kilman to sell alongside with Trent. The thing is, Sen, if you could afford it, I would rather get rid of Dean or Kilman, especially Kilman, for one of those players you said. So if you could do Kilman to Laporte or James, I'd do it, personally. But yes, to answer your question, it is worth it. Lacazette or Maupai, who should I start? That is a tough question. I mean, I'd go for Lacazette, actually, yeah. I'll keep the trend. I'm April 30th. Happy birthday. Wish you all the best. To be healthy and lucky. Thank you very much. And the same goes back to you. Hopefully you have a great birthday and a great year. There's a lot of people with April birthdays, which surprises me as well. I think June, from people I know, June tends to be a very popular, month for birthdays, and July. Thank you, Ed, for the birthday wishes. News trend is not starting. Time to sell. Let's see. Thank you very much for saying that. Hopefully you're saying the right information, even though it doesn't really help any of us. But yeah, let's see. I'm not seeing anything. Watford FC News is just saying, I wouldn't back them, by the way. It's just they're reporting what they see or whatever. But apparently Arnold could be back. I'm not sure. Let's see. I'm trying to see if there's anything that we can get here. But yeah, if you see any links, by the way, put them in the chat and I'll put them on so everyone can see. But yeah. Bench Cody. It depends who you bench him for, but yes, you could. I've swapped out Cody for Taylor. Yeah, fair enough. I think that's a fair move, fair shout. I'm not a big fan of Burnley assets, but hopefully it turns out right for you. Do you think Trent will start? I think so, but if you look at all the kind of news, maybe I'm just forming the wrong conclusion. Thank you, Thierry, for the happy birthday wish. Same with Avaran. Thank you very much. Cancelo or James? I prefer Cancelo long term, so it's him. Gordon or Kai? I mean, Kai Havertz for me. Gordon is just your 5th midfielder, basically. Garlic bread again. Happy birthday, Dan. Thank you very much from Garlic bread, by the way. Plus, don't worry, guys, the toast is garlic butter, so it's not false advertising. Yeah, I wonder what made you, come up with that name and DP, but thank you very much, mate. Best midfielders for 7.5 million. Kulusevski and Saka for me. I think they're the top 2. A Physio and Liverpool tweet. Okay, fair enough. Let me see that. Thank you very much for pointing me in that direction. So let me see. And a Liverpool tweet. Let's see. So is it the latest tweet that they posted? Let's see. I'm trying to see where this is, but yeah. I think either way, it would be good if I brought in Reece James, just in case. So I could have Doherty and Reece James and Robertson as my backline, which would be pretty solid, actually. Is De Gea playable until Gameweek 34? Yes, he has got a double in 33. I'd say he's playable, definitely, yeah. Let's see, what else do we have? 18 minutes to lock in, yeah. And now, obviously, 14, but I'm a bit behind in the chat. Does Brownhill start? Yes, I think so, but I wouldn't go for him, honestly. Thank you, Moore. Thank you very much for the birthday wish. Captain, Kane or Salah? I'd go for Salah myself, but it's very close between the two. Would you play Pickford or Sarr? Probably Pickford for the double, but that's really the only reason. Would you have Doherty or Tierney for 31 and 32? I think I'd actually say Doherty, maybe, yeah. Thank you, Harry. Thank you very much. In case I miss your reply, Son for Havertz and Tsimikas for Laporte. I mean, I like that Tsimikas for Laporte move, but I'm not sure I'd get rid of Son this week, mate. So, for me, no. Yeah, thank you, Richard. Yeah, we're trying our best to get through everything as well. Hey, Dylan, hard choice, but sticking with your advice and rolling the transfer. Yeah, it might be best for you, actually. Yeah, I think so. Jimenez to Cucho and Cody to Jimenez on a -4. Yeah, I like those moves, mate. I think that's worth it, Murad. Yeah. Barnes or Broja, who should I start? Says Martins. Good question. I think I'll go for Broja, but I'm not sure if he starts. That's the problem. Captain Foden or Kane? Kane for me all day. Would you have Doherty? Yeah, I already answered that, sorry. Weghorst plus Son -4. Kane plus Gordon -4. Kane plus Havertz, Tierney -8. I'd go for the -8 option, actually, Neramya, if you can, yeah. Although, bear in mind, Havertz could be benched this week. So, is James fit? Yes, he's fit. He's been in training. So, and Tuchel said he's ready to go. Thank you, John Green. Thank you very much. Kane or Weghorst captain? I'd go for Kane. I'd still go for the single game weeker. Quick wild card for people planning to do bench boost. I mean, I can try. I'll try to do one quickly, if possible. I'm going to try to get through these questions though first. Trent to Cancelo. I mean, it's a good move. Let me just get that straight. It's a good move. You can go ahead with it. It's just I'd still want to keep Trent if possible. Doherty or Dean first sub to come on in case Trent doesn't play. Doherty for me. You look at the fixture, it has to be Doherty. Worth taking a -8 for Weghorst. It depends for who. If it's for Jimenez, then yes, potentially. But it's not really inspiring. Let's be honest. I made the same move as well. Is Lacazette to Weghorst worth it? Yes, for free, definitely. Lacazette has a double in 33 though, and a decent, fixture run until the end of the season. Thank you, Lamek. Thank you very much. My birthday's the 14th. Yeah, a lot of people with April birthdays. It's crazy. It's my last question. You need to go. Rate my team out of 10. I mean, look, it's a good team. It's at least a solid 8. I tend to give 8s basically whenever I read out these teams. But assuming Morris starts, you could even say it's a 9 for this week. Gordon, look, he's a bench fodder option really. So if he gets any return in this double game week, you'd be happy with it. So look, it's a good team a bit. You're well set for this week. You don't need to worry. I'd also captain Salah. Kane is also a nice alternative. You've got Mahrez. He could be a great differential. I'm not sure if he starts, but if he does, he's a great choice. Play Hwang or Rafinha? Rafinha. Should I play Coutinho or Kulusevski? I'd go for Kulusevski. Play Broja or Watkins? I would go for Broja. Happy birthday. Thank you very much, Samrat. Is Max Kilman going to start? Yes, I think so. I know he's kind of been in and out recently, but I think he comes back in, especially after their capitulation, although that was due to the red card they had. Ramsdale with Pope or Pickford? Pope, I'd say. Best midfielders? Yeah, once again, Junior, I'd say Kulusevski or Saka. Who would you play? Barnes or Broja? Once again, ring. I'd go for Broja. Happy birthday, thank you very much, Faye. And celebrate for good memory. Thank you very much. Lacazette to Weghorst and Barnes to Havertz, yes. I like the Lacazette to Weghorst move. I don't think I'd do Barnes to Havertz just because he has a double in 33. He's more nailed than Havertz in the Premier League. So, yeah, as much as I like Havertz, I probably wouldn't. Yeah, Ashraf, already answered that question, mate. Captain Salah? Yes, for me, yes. James or Rudiger, more safe for minutes? Rudiger, definitely. Long term, he's more nailed, but James is just a more exciting pick. Should I buy James instead of Trent? Yeah, if you have no kind of defensive coverage, then yes, I would. But just bear in mind, in the long term, Trent is going to play pretty much every single game. James, maybe not the case in the Prem. Rafinha out for Havertz? Not this week. I'd maybe do that in Game Week 33, potentially. Bench Martinelli or Tierney? I would bench Tierney out of those two. Mateta versus Cucho. There's not much to separate them. They're both decent options. I think I would go for Cucho right now, just because he's shown a bit more in the Prem. Let's see, has this actually charged? Alright, cool. So it actually has. Alright, let me see if I can see anything on Twitter. So I'll try to get through your questions. Dylan, Tsimikas might be right back over Trent. I don't think so. He only really plays as the left back. It could be Joe Gomez or Milner for me as the right back. I could be wrong, by the way, but I don't think so. Yeah, start Broja or Barnes. I'd go for Broja, just for the fixture, but that's very tough. Very, very tough. Trying to see if there's anything here, by the way, but yeah, nothing here on Twitter. Barnes, Rafinha and Saka, bench one. I'd bench Barnes in that case. Ramsdale or Sanchez, I'd go for Ramsdale. Yeah, no problem, Junior. No, it's fine. No worries. Let's see, what else do we have? All right, so I have 2 free transfers and I'm somewhat satisfied with my squad. Is it bad if I don't make any transfers? It isn't. You burn one, but if you're happy with your squad, then you don't need to force one. You could always use this opportunity, Christoph, to maybe downgrade your second goalkeeper potentially if you don't have someone like Ramsdale who's an injury out, and that saves you more money to then invest into your starting 11 and the rest of your squad. So yeah, otherwise, yeah, it could be the right decision for you. Thoughts on Havertz captain? I'm just not sure if he starts, and that is why I'd be a bit kind of put off by it. For me, Kane and Salah are the best captains, with Salah being first, but if you're looking for a differential, Havertz could be one of the better ones, mate. Hey, mate, on a wild card, James versus Rudiger. I'd still go for James just for the upside, but if you want to play safe, go for Rudiger. 2 double city defence, yeah. I'd go for at least 1 on a wild card. Cancelo, but having Cancelo and Laporte, maybe Robertson and James is a really good way to go. Then maybe a cheap 5th defender. De Gea versus Pope versus Dubravka. I'd go for Pope. There's not much to separate them, actually. Play Kulusevski or Gordon. I'd go for Kulusevski still. Thank you, Nepali. Thank you very much. I'm going with Son, not Salah. Fair enough. Good luck. You know, maybe you actually end up doing well from that. So hopefully, yeah. 8 minutes to lock in. Yes, 8 minutes to lock in. It's crazy, isn't it? Striker for 7.5 million. Veghorst, Che Adams, maybe Richarlison, but I'd mainly go for the first 2. Thank you very much, El Padrino. First sub, Broja or Ramsey? Broja. Says to Robertson for a hit. I actually think it's worth it still. Yeah, I'd go for it. I swapped Reece James for Gordon and put in Son. Good luck, Thierry. I like those moves, actually. I like them, yes. What else did I think I missed a question just above. Yeah, Salah and Roberts -4 or Kane and Foden, Kane captain, or Roberts, KDB and Kane. I would go for Salah and... Sorry. Oh, yeah, so wait, you don't have... Wait, Shane, do you not have Salah if you get Kane? That's a bit... Well, that's a tough one. That's really tough. It's between the first 2, Salah and Roberts or Kane and Foden. But yeah, look, if you have Kane and Foden, but Salah's still in your team, then yeah, but I'm guessing that's not the case. Kane and Foden's the best duo, so I go for that. I'm not going to overcomplicate it, basically. Salah starts, yeah. Hopefully we get any news about Trent, but yeah, let's wait and see. Yeah, Salah starts as well. Trent fit? Well, based on what people are saying on Twitter, or at least on the live chat, maybe not, but let's wait and see. Yeah, where are you seeing this news, by the way, about Salah? I'm trying to see, but yeah, sometimes Twitter doesn't really help me with the algorithm, so I can't actually see the posts. So yeah, it's a bit of a shame. Let's see, Salah. Oh yeah, so yeah, Spion Cop. Okay, yeah, I just see that. Yeah, the Cop HQ. Oh yeah, they're still asking for Trent. Yeah, everyone's asking about Trent. That is crazy. So we've got 6 minutes left. Yeah. Thank you, Marco. I might make a final move, and as you can see, the poll is overwhelming. 80% of you have said go for James instead of Cody. Very simple transfer. Trent benched. Gomez playing right back. Yeah, there you go. I think I might make a move then for Reece James. I can't afford Cancelo. Yeah, Gomez right back. He just said it. Yeah, 1 minute ago. Let me bring it up for you, just so you guys can see. But yeah, I think I'm going to make it a late transfer. So just check this out. Gomez right back. It's basically all it says in the tweet, but just so you can see, I'm not lying or anything. So I think I might make a late move here. That's going to be interesting. I think Reece James could be coming in. Let me know what you guys think, but I think 80% of you have kind of made your feelings clear there. Hopefully the site doesn't crash and prevents me from making the transfer, but there you go. Gomez right back, Salah starts. So yeah, there we go. Reece James. What do we do about this guy? Huh? What do we do? Well, we'll retweet this just for anyone who's on Twitter and hasn't seen it. Now let's go back to the transfer section. Cody to Reece James. As you can see here, 6.6 billion left in the bank. Reece James costs 6.2. I've got 0.4 million. Wait, did Reece James go down in price? Wow, that's incredible. Do it, Dylan. Yeah, probably. Yeah, Trent benched. Yes, there you go. So, yeah, it makes sense, to be fair. I think he'll be fine for the Benfica game. But yeah, the fact he's on the bench is quite encouraging. Gomez is playing right back. Yeah, yeah. I'm an Arsenal fan, says Thierry. Yes, Martinelli starts. Yeah, I think so. Smith Rowe, unfortunately, is very unfortunate, to be missing out. But yeah, Martinelli's first choice right now. Do you think it's good to get Bruno first in Game Week 33 and then Cancelo and switch back to Coutinho later? Yes, Alan, I think so. And then Cancelo. I mean, if you can, Cancelo getting him in. I mean, to be fair, it makes sense because if he gets benched in 31, Cancelo, which is a possibility, then plays Liverpool, then there's an argument to do what you just said and get Cancelo after 33. Yeah, I like that. I like that, Alan, a lot. Pretty reliable in the know. Yeah, exactly. I think I'm just going to get Reece James in. So there you go. Late transfer, and I would then play. Yeah, Trent is not playing. Yeah, I'd still keep Trent though, just for the value. Martinelli or Tony? I think Martinelli. Does Firmino start? I'm not sure. Vice Cody or Son? Definitely not Cody. I'd go for Son, vice captain. Play Kulusevski or Rafinha? Kulusevski for me. Trent to Robertson just for this game week. Yeah, I think it's a good move. And either way, you could keep him long term. I'm captaining Salah. Let's see, what else do we have? Trent and Cody to James and Cancelo -4 now. Yeah. Yeah, I'm not sure. I mean, I could, but then I might just keep things as they are because basically I would have Robertson, Trent, and James. And if Trent misses, well, Trent is obviously missing out anyway, then Doherty comes in. So yeah, I think I'm just going to do it and bench Trent. I mean, yeah, let's wait and see. Imagine he comes off and does really well. But yeah, let's just do this. Cody. Yeah, well, why not? Yeah, let's just go. Come on, Reece James. Go on. You know you want to get a haul. Yeah, nice. All right, so... I mean, now I'm just not sure about my bench order. What do I do here? I think I'd play Doherty, yes. But do I go for Trent first sub even though he's on the bench? Yeah, what are you guys doing, by the way? Let me know. Are you benching Trent? Like, is he your third sub? I'm guessing a lot of you are like getting rid of him anyway. But I'm not going to take a -4, I think. And you use him past 40 minutes? Krishna, yes. Trent is benched. Gomez is starting as right back. And Salah starts. That's basically what we've got. 3 minutes to lock in. Yeah, now 2 minutes. James for Rudiger for free. Yes, I'd do it just for the upside, but Rudiger's more nailed, so it's always risky. Son or Cody Vice? Son, mate. Son. Yeah, apparently Trent, yeah, he is benched, yeah. And it's a reliable source, so, it'd be a shock if that was to be incorrect. Jimenez to Kane, but Son to Foden? Yes, I like that, actually. I'd do it. Even though getting rid of Son for -4 doesn't sit right with me, those two transfers are pretty good, to be fair. Cody in, Arnold out. I would not get Cody in because he blanks in 33. I'd rather get someone else. I'd go for Cancelo, Reece James, Rudiger, Robertson, etc. I wouldn't do that. 5.5 million defenders, Doherty, Tierney, etc. Looking at a few others. You could go for a Burnley one, maybe, but not really a big fan, but you could go for Roberts. I think he could be decent. Just bear in mind that Burnley have a few issues at the back, and that's why I'm not too sure about them. Is Trent going to be my third sub, really? Oh, it just looks crazy. Oh my god, I think I'm going to have Broja and Tierney, first and second subs. Imagine Trent comes on and goes absolutely ballistic. Oh my god. Ramsey or Broja to start? Broja. I'd rather go for Broja. Thank you, Junior. Bench 1, Broja, Doherty, Laporte, Kulusevski, Weghorst. I would bench Broja out of those lot. But it's up to you. Sold Trent. Hope to not lose out on too much cash when I... Well, he's probably going to go down in price today. It makes sense to get rid of him now, to be fair, but I think I just go for this. Yeah, the way my team is structured, I think I can afford having Trent on my bench, basically. Tsimikas starting? No way. Oh my god, you've got to be kidding me right now. Either way, I've got Tierney coming off my bench, but that is crazy, if that's true. Let me try get that up. Oh my god, don't... Wow. Let's see. I'm looking at Spion again. Let's see. Does he say anything about Robertson? I don't think so. Maybe that's a troll there. But either way, I'm checking just to see if we get anything. The deadline's gone, by the way, so thank you very much for everyone to tune in. Jota starting, by the way. He said yes to someone who said Jota? Question mark. Yeah, he said Robertson's playing as the left back. Robertson's starting, according to Cop, Spion Cop. Robertson is starting. So there you go. If you have missed it, the latest updates basically that we're all talking about. Trent is benched, Gomez right back, Salah starting, Robertson left back, and... Wait, did I just miss something out? Yeah, there was one more piece of news. Yeah, Jota. Jota's starting. For any of you who have him, there you go. And that's why I said it was very risky to get rid of him this week, because he could start against Watford. Alisson's starting as well, by the way. So there you go. Yeah, I made a late transfer as well. Used both of them up. and we are locked in. So yeah, thank you Sudindra for tuning in. Thank you Anu as well. Can't find the Simicast news anyway. Anyway, he's not playing. It's going to be Robertson. Robertson starting. Whoops just sold Trent to Cancelo. Let's see how this turns out. Well, Trent is bench Mickey, so unless somehow this guy got it wrong, which would be very surprising. Bench Saka or Rafinha. I would have benched Rafinha, yeah, like Mark said. F, please no, I just transferred in Robertson. No, he's playing. According to Spion Carp. Imagine. Well, hopefully you didn't get like a really high heart rate there. Just relax. It's just a virtual game, as we say. Thank you, Thomas, for tuning in. And yeah, we are locked in. So if you've got any more questions or comments, let me know. I'm going to be wrapping up fairly soon, and just gonna watch the football for the rest of the day, and just enjoy a sunny. Oh, it's cloudy. Enjoy the day, basically. Yeah. What else? I saw Davis, Trent, and Jimenez to James, Laporte, and Vegas for a -8. Good luck, Sudindra. It looks good to me. It looks pretty good. And look at this, by the way. Sites you're never going to really see. Trent third on my bench, and that's because he's apparently benched. Imagine he actually starts. That would be crazy, but no, I don't think so. All right, we're ending the poll there anyway, and we ended up making that move. Reece James coming in for Cody as my second transfer, and the first one was Weghorst in for Jimenez, despite my reservations about the Dutchman. He had a good start to his Burnley career, ever since very poor. Do you think Livramento is better than Kilman this week? Good question. Assuming that Livramento starts, then yes, I'd say so, but you're looking at Leeds, you wouldn't really back against them to score, but then you look at Kilman and Villa, that could be a 2-1 either way, maybe a 1-1, so I'm not sure. Wolves have the better defence, for sure, there's no denying that, but I don't know, it's a tough one, basically. Livramento has more, well, maybe not goal threat, assist threat. I'm not going to sit on the fence. I'd still say Kilman's better, just for the defence, but it's tough. Thank you, Jay. Best of luck to you as well. Thank you, Marco, as well. Yeah, good luck as well to you as well. And yeah, let's see what happens on Monday with Arsenal. It'd be a great way to ruin the weekend. Thanks for the stream. Thank you, Adam, for tuning in. Thank you very much. Transferred in Cancelo, James and Pope for Trent, Sayson, Ramsdale. Yeah, to be honest, any of you who got rid of Trent in the end, it's a good call, and he's benched in the end. So yeah, good moves. And I ended up keeping him, and let's wait and see how it goes. Wow, Robertson captain. Good luck, mate. I remember in Game Week 29, he ended up being the best, player for the week. So hopefully you do well there. I wouldn't mind a Robertson haul, obviously. Just hoping my -12 pays well and Broja remains quiet. Yeah, good luck, mate. If Broja's benched, you'll be very happy. If he starts, maybe you're going to get a little nervous. Good luck, Dylan. Thank you very much, Sudindra, once again for the birthday wish. Yes, I'm going to try enjoy it. At least there's no Arsenal today to ruin it, potentially, because I think Palace could cause some problems. Choose one to bench. James, Rafinha, Kulusevski. I would have benched Rafinha if I had to pick, but either way, the deadline's gone now. It's finished 4 minutes ago. Bought in Mahrez and captain. Wow, we're seeing some bold captaincy picks here. Good luck. I mean, that's the way to play it, rather than just the usual, Captain Salah, Captain Kane. But, I mean, sorry, maybe sometimes I'm playing it too boring, but at least I made a late move for Reece James. Maybe I'm playing a bit more exciting than usual. Kane captain. Good luck, mate, even though I don't really want Kane to haul, but good luck to you. Kane haul incoming. Everyone take cover. Yeah. Oh, no, God, don't. I mean, he's been insane in the last 5 or 6 game weeks. Only one blank, so doesn't really surprise us, does it? Mark Peter says, I got Pope, Cancelo, James, and a wildcard. Yeah, pretty good. I like those moves as well. I probably would have done the same thing. Thank you, Bard. Thank you very much. DNNN says, did Pickford and Laporte to Cody and Sarr? Wanted to take him Walker rather than Laporte. I think Laporte is the better option anyway than Walker. So that's a good set of moves, mate. Pickford, I'll be honest, I'm not a big fan of him. I'd rather have Schmeichel or Pope, but hopefully it works out well for you. Have Kane, but Captain Salah. Yeah, having both is a great position to be in. I wish I did, but I ended up just keeping Son. I talked about this before. Kane has like 8 goals in maybe 14 appearances against Newcastle. Son has like 3 goals in 10, I think, if I'm not mistaken. So, yeah, I'm not too optimistic. Thanks for all the help. Do you have anything nice planned for your birthday? Yeah, just going out with friends, chilling with family as well. Just kind of usual, just a quiet celebration, But yeah, just going to watch the football, basically. That's pretty much it. And then could do some other stuff throughout the week. But yeah, keeping it cool, basically. But thank you very much, Mickey. And thank you for always tuning in, as always, mate. Sounds good. Planning on getting him back on a wildcard in 34. Hope it doesn't cost me too much. Like I said, I don't think it will, Mark, and Flying Dutchman. I think you only lose 0.2, 0.3 million. He'd probably go down today, actually. Did the James to Cancelo hit with a light bench? This could be horrible. Yeah, with a light bench, I would have gotten rid of Trent. So hopefully it turns out well for you, Marco. I have Salah but Captain Kane. Yep. I think Salah will be the most popular by far, but there will be a few Kane captainers. In the top 10k, it wouldn't be surprising if Kane had between 10 and 25% captaincy. Maybe even more, actually. Thank you, David, for the birthday wish. Thank you very much. Thank you, Flying Dutchman, and hopefully you have a good day as well. Kane drops deep, so we could easily see a 2-pointer while Kulusevski and Son. I mean, that's the dream for us non-Kane owners, but look, Kane has been dropping deep in recent games anyway. It's just he's now, the passes are coming off. He's in form. He's getting into the box at the right time, and he's clinical. He had decent stats at the beginning of the season, just didn't translate those to points. So let's wait and see. Who do you think is better? Tchouaméni versus Rice. I'll be honest, I haven't seen too much of Tchouaméni, and I've probably butchered his name, by the way. But I've heard some very, very good things about him. I think United are linked to both. So yeah, I'm not going to be able to judge because I haven't seen both of them. They're a bit different, I think. Tchouaméni's more of the Kante player from what I've heard, and obviously I haven't seen them. So I'm not going to judge, basically, on something I haven't seen enough of. Bro will start for sure. Yeah, he could end up biting me, to be fair. Couldn't decide to wildcard this week, now planning to wildcard in 32. Good idea. Yeah? Or I would wildcard in 34, because you could basically use the next 2 weeks to navigate 33 without the free hit and then wildcard out of it. Thank you, Marco. Yes, it's my birthday, today. Happy birthday, Dylan. I hope you have a fun day with whoever you sound it with. Yeah, thank you very much, Marco. And hopefully it's a great week for Arsenal and for everyone who's watching. So thank you very much, mate. Lineup: Pickford, Tierney, Rudiger, Doherty, Laporte, Saka, Salah captain, Kulusevski, Rafinha, Kane, DCL, Ramsdale. Wow, that's a really good team. And you can afford to have Trent, Broja, Coutinho on the bench. That's a great team, mate. I don't really have any problems with it, to be honest. I'm not really going to nitpick anything. Pickford obviously isn't my favourite goalkeeper. That's really the only problem I guess I would have. The rest looks pretty solid. Trent for James and Schmeichel for Ramsdale worth a -4. Yes, I think it was worth a -4. Obviously, the deadline has already passed. Schmeichel for Ramsdale. Obviously, I prefer Ramsdale, but if he's out, then it's a good move. Arsenal top 4 finish for your birthday gift, Dylan. I mean, that is going to be a long way, to go, because I don't think Arsenal are going to, seal it anytime soon. It will be something, going down to the last 3-2 game weeks of the season at least. I think Spurs have a very good chance. If you look at their fixtures, they're very good. United obviously still have some top quality players, so let's wait and see. But, an Arsenal win against Palace would be massive, definitely. Thank you, Mark. Great stream. Thanks for the advice. Thank you all this morning on being patient. Yeah, thank you, Mark. And yeah, the stream was pretty good today. Most people were being patient and understanding. Obviously, I was trying to go for as many questions as possible. That's why sometimes a bit lagging behind. Thoughts on Salah form since African Cup of Nations? I mentioned this before. It hasn't been great. And Kane statistically way superior. But I still expect Salah to bounce back. And he's still been getting some big returns, including Double Gameweek 26. But yeah, it has been concerning. United and City assets to consider for the wildcard. City, Cancelo, Laporte. I really wouldn't consider anyone else. From United, I'd say Bruno Fernandes. Good option for 32, 33. Then you can get rid of him for Son, or maybe downgrade him and then get Harry Kane up front. Although on a wildcard, you would have Harry Kane anyway. Ronaldo could be good. You could do kind of a switcheroo between Kane and Ronaldo. But yeah, I'd say from United, I'd go for Bruno. Maybe Sancho could be a great differential. From City, Cancelo and Laporte. Thoughts about F1 this season? Thank you very much for the birthday wishes, Ahmed. Yeah, look, F1's been really good this season, and Mercedes are probably the third or fourth best car. They could, start to, cover the ground a little bit, but you wouldn't really expect them to challenge for the title. Red Bull, Ferrari, that's where it's at this season. What's interesting is that they're both very different, Red Bull have the better straight line speed, but then Ferrari are much better through the corners. And obviously last season, if you look at that, Mercedes were better in the straight line speed, Red Bull through the corners. But yeah, Ferrari have a great package this year. I'm a bit concerned about Red Bull's reliability, but Verstappen and Leclerc could be a fantastic battle. Two of the best drivers on the grid. I'd say those two and Hamilton are the top 3, not in any order, by the way. So it should be a great battle. Dylan, who's the best in order? Son, Sterling or Mane? In FPL, I'd say Son, Sterling, Mane. As a player, it may be a bit different. Trent to Cancelo last minute. That's a good move, mate. And obviously he's benched, so yeah, should be pretty decent there. I have the free hit and bench boost left. I'd probably use the bench boost in 36 and the free hit in 33, or maybe even 37. And as I said maybe a few days ago, which people sound a bit surprised by, but 38 could be a good one with the amount of rotation that happens sometimes. Thank you, Jake, for the birthday wish. Much appreciated. Best Arsenal defender. I'd say Tierney, but a few others like White offer good value. Ramsdale's the best defensive coverage overall. In terms of who's the best Arsenal defender, outside FPL, it's probably Gabriel, I'd say. Yes, thanks, Dylan. Bench Rafinha in the end. Yep, that's good. Did start Trent, but Rafinha probably comes on anyway. Yeah, exactly. That's fine then. But yeah, Trent is probably going to be benched. The problem is if he comes on for a 1-point cameo, but you never know. Even in 20 minutes, Trent can, absolutely rip Watford apart. Transfer says Dennis Coutinho to James Gelhardt-Kulusevski for a -4. Really wanted to hold Dennis, but no funds. That's the first time I've heard that. Everyone says they want to get rid of Dennis and Watford attackers as soon as possible. So it's a good set of transfers though, Bobby. I agree with them, and you're in a good position. And ultimately, getting that extra bit of money for Gelhardt is crucial. Thank you, Henry, once again, and cheers for tuning in. Thank you very much. Bruno played well and took his goals well for Portugal. Yeah, he did. Ronaldo got an assist as well. I'd expect some returns against Norwich in 33. Thank you, Abir. Thank you very much. And same with everyone else who's been tuning in. Thank you, Teza. Salah has 11 goals in 7 games against Watford. Yeah, exactly. Stuff like that, I take into account a little bit, even though maybe we shouldn't. But sometimes I think these players, they realise, they're playing against a team that they tend to do well against. And yeah, I've just gone for Salah. Even if I had Kane, I think I still would have gone for Salah. Thank you, Bobby Perez, and obviously an Arsenal fan. Perez, one of the best left mids in the early 2000s. Happy birthday, mate. Always loved your streams. Thank you very much, mate. And yeah, it's great to have you here. Son, Sterling, Mane in real life. Right now, I'd say it's between Son and Mane for first, and I'd say Sterling's probably last. But look, Sterling has been a bit underrated because throughout his career, he's had incredible years. I think there was one where he was right up there with Messi, in terms of the highest scoring players in a calendar year. He's been insane. But right now, I'd say Sterling's probably the worst of the lot. And I'd say Son or Mane is first. It's quite tough between them. If I start F1 Fantasy, would I have to use a wildcard? No, I don't think so. No. And by the way, in F1 Fantasy, you can make free transfers each week for free. And then any additional ones you make is for a -10. But you can only make 6 transfers maximum, which is basically you only have 5 drivers and a constructor. So that makes up the 6. But try not to take -10s and stuff if possible. If I had Son, I would have tempted to captain him because he's rarely blanking at home. Yeah, his home record is insane, and that's why I was happy to keep him for this week. Do you do F1 Fantasy videos? I don't. I do UCL Fantasy videos instead for the Champions League. But yeah, F1 Fantasy could be something we do from time to time, potentially. I'm not going to promise anything there, but, there's quite a few F1 Fantasy players. I think there's over 1 million, and there's not many videos, I believe, so that could be something we look into. Salah was playing very well in Marseille. Do you think he'll play in the first team next season? It's tough to say because, look, I think he will be a part of the first team. I'm not sure if he starts over Ben White and Gabriel. I personally think he's more talented and will be a better player, in terms of potential anyway, than Ben White. But sometimes it's about the partnerships. And White has had a good season. Gabriel's been very solid again. So, I don't know. I think he should be part of it, And having those two, Saliba and Holding, is a decent set of 4 centre-backs, in my opinion. Hopefully Trent doesn't come on for a cameo. Yeah, that would be very nerve-wracking to say the least, and I'll probably not look at the Liverpool game in that case. Best goalkeeper pairing for the duration. Assuming he's fit, I'd still go for Ramsdale, and I'd go for Dubravka. Otherwise, you're looking at maybe Schmeichel or Pope. So any of those goalkeepers are fine. Is Ramsdale fit? It's not confirmed yet. It's going to be a race against time, and he's going to have a late fitness test before we know if he's going to start or not. Firmino starts apparently. What? So it's going to be Firmino, Jota, and Salah. That's interesting. Because I say Jota, by the way, because the Spion Cop said that. Hopefully I said that name right, by the way. I probably butchered it. Thank you, Alex, for this birthday wish. Thank you very much. Let's see what else we have. I would watch your videos and they helped me a lot. I ultimately reached 80k rank around Gameweek 26. Then I stopped watching your videos and wasn't in touch with FPL. My rank dropped to 240k. The thing is, I wouldn't just attribute that to watching videos. Maybe just because you weren't as involved, you weren't thinking about it as much, and maybe that's why. But yeah, thank you very much. And either way, you're in a good rank, you're in a good position, and you can definitely learn some things for next season as well. Firmino, yeah, I already said that. Sorry, Hawkeye boy. But yeah, should be interesting to see this lineup very soon. 1 second, I'm just gonna have a little water break because I'll be honest, my voice is absolutely gone. So I need to spare a little bit. So 1 second. And we'll bring up another screen again. Let's remind ourselves of the predicted points. Yeah, why not? And we are back. We are back. Let me just check something with YouTube 1 second, which I wasn't able to check actually throughout most of the stream. Probably going to be an issue again. Okay, no, wow, no issue. Wow. Hallelujah, as they say. But yeah, thank you very much to everyone who's been subscribing. If you're still here and you haven't smashed the like button already, consider smashing the like button. It really helps out the channel. And yeah, you know, we've been answering a lot of questions today. It's been a lot of fun. You have the same birthday as my mum. Happy birthday. Thank you very much, Stephen. I wonder when your birthday is as well. But yeah, it's a pretty unique birthday, I'd say. I think the only football player that I recognise that has a birthday on this day is Miralem Pjanic. Make of that what you will. Have a great weekend, Dylan. Great stream as always. Ciao for now. Thank you, Cyril. Likewise. Ciao for now. Have a great weekend. Have a great week. Hopefully you get those green arrows. The F1 players are about 1.25 million. Oh yeah, exactly. That's a pretty decent number actually. I thought it was a bit less. For me, nobody is on prime Messi level, even CR7. Look, okay, we all have our opinions. Look, I respect Ronaldo a lot, despite, you know, I do banner him a little bit from time to time, obviously just for fun. Yeah, for me, Messi's the best ever as well. But if you look at prime versions of certain players, obviously Ronaldo's right up there, but even Pele, which I haven't seen enough of, Maradona in his prime was, I'd say, right up there with Messi. But what distinguishes both of them, I think, is that Messi did it for 15 years, basically. And his consistency is unreal. You know, for basically nearly a decade, he had the most goals and assists, even over Ronaldo, who I think only achieved it twice. So, yeah, for me, Messi is the best ever, but we all have our different opinions. So, yeah, hopefully no one gets too mad over that. But, yeah, we'll have our own viewpoints. Happy birthday, Len. Thank you, Crispy. Likewise to you. Morning to you as well, Big A. And, yeah, we're about to wrap up fairly soon, but I'm trying to get through these last few comments as well. Is going Trent, Robertson, Cancelo, James, Tierney at the back the best idea on the wildcard? I would definitely go for at least 4 of them. Maybe you could downgrade one of them and try to invest more money into your midfield. But yes, I'd go big at the back and in the midfield. But I'm not sure about having, you know, because you've got basically no budget option there, do you? Let me just double check that. Yeah, so you've got every player is over 5.1 million, which is a lot. But yes, on a wildcard, I would do something very similar. Got Havertz instead of Coutinho. Yes, I think it's a good move, Ashish. Just bear in mind that Havertz could be benched in Game Week 31. That's a possibility. In F1 Fantasy, you must have 3 teams. No, I don't think so. It's a bit like Sky Fantasy Football, where you could have different teams. Your first team is what really counts. Your second and third teams, you can also use in leagues and stuff like that. I just started F1 Fantasy and I've only one team. I really like your fantasy football videos. Thank you very much, mate. And yeah, if you haven't already, check out UCL Fantasy. I think you might enjoy that game a lot, and it's got a few differences, such as the Limitless. It's like a free hit with no budget restrictions, and also you can make substitutions yourself and change the captaincy between different days. And for example, in the round of 16, you would have 4 different days, and you could change the captaincy on each one. So it just makes the game way more interesting. Ball recoveries are a thing. I really like UCL Fantasy, to be honest, and I'm not just saying that because I'm actually doing all right in it. I actually think it's a pretty good game as well. Thoughts on Mohamed Salah contract? We can't afford to lose such an FPL asset. Yeah, I mean, Liverpool fans are a bit mixed on it. I've seen some people say, you know what, just let him go. And if he's going to be greedy, just let him go. We'll replace him with someone else. I mean, they've already got Diaz and Jota, 2 pretty good replacements for Firmino and Mane, you could say, in the long term. But I still think Salah is a big miss, you know. Salah is, you know, a large part of why he's so good is because of the system he plays in. Maybe he doesn't do as well in PSG as he does in Liverpool, but he's a top quality player. He's in the form of his life. And I think if I was Liverpool, I would do everything I can, you know, to keep him. Obviously not to the point of bankrupting the club like Barcelona have done for multiple years, but I think I would offer the contract. And I think Salah, in terms of the contract, you know, I mean, yeah, do footballers deserve that much money? That's another debate to be had. But in terms of how much, you know, all these players earn, yes, in hindsight, yeah, maybe Salah does deserve that wage. So it's difficult, but I would definitely do it if I was Liverpool. It will be scary not having any Man City players against Burnley. Yes, I think so too. If I could have, I would have gone for Cancelo over James. I just think it's the better, you know, pick long term. Messi's 3rd best overall goal assist season still beats Ronaldo's best. I mean, that's crazy. That's what I mean. In terms of goals, though, Ronaldo's best season, I think, trumps most of Messi's seasons, obviously. But, yeah, no, Messi's consistency is absolutely unbelievable. Same with Ronaldo, to be fair. But, yeah. Even now, look, Messi still got some things about him, but I don't know. I'm still a bit worried about him. His goal record has definitely plummeted, and even last year he was doing very well, and his underlying numbers were very unsustainable. But it was Messi. No one thought much about it, and now he's just not scoring. He's hit the post like 8 or 9 times. Some of his finishing has been poor. It's a shame, but I still think he can bounce back. Dylan, yesterday I saw Paul Merson. Whereabouts? That's pretty good. I know someone who saw Jamie Carragher around King's Cross, I think. Ken will score a hat-trick. Oh, no. Oh, don't. I mean, look, good luck to you and your team, but I hope he blanks, but let's wait and see. Who do you prefer, Pep or Klopp? Look, Klopp has transformed Liverpool. He's been a great manager, and when he goes, I think Liverpool could be in trouble, but I think Pep is still, in my opinion, the best manager in the world. He got the best out of arguably the best of all time in Messi. He doesn't get enough credit for what he did at Barcelona, in my opinion. And, he got rid of players like Deco, Ronaldinho, who were big parts of the 2000s, and he completely transformed it, brought players from the academy like Busquets, made Xavi and Iniesta even better. I mean, he made probably the best team of all time. And it's not like he spent a huge amount at Barcelona. So, look, they're both very good. For me, they're the 2 best managers in the world. But I'd probably go for Pep. Are Everton strikers good differentials? Yes. Potentially, but their away record is awful, Everton. So I'm not really expecting huge falls from either of them. Force on England winning? Look, they have a chance. I will say they have a chance. In terms of the players they have, definitely. But there's quite a lot of other teams. Brazil are the favourites right now. You've got Germany who could come back into the mix. Spain are underrated. Watch out for them. Obviously, there's no Italy. There's Brazil. Who else I miss? France, the World Cup winners from last time. Argentina have a chance. So I think it's open. Those 6 teams, pretty much, could all win the World Cup. Even Portugal, maybe, although I'm not as confident. Same with Belgium. But those 6 teams, as I mentioned, I think they have a very good chance of winning the World Cup. So, yeah, England have a chance, but I'm just not sure they'll do it. Let's wait and see, though. Edison, Mendy, Alisson in order. I'm guessing you're saying in real life. Right now, I think Mendy's looking very good, by the way. But if we're looking at their career overall, it's Alisson for me, that's the best. Edison second, Mendy third. I think Edison's a bit underrated. He gets all these golden gloves. He doesn't make that many saves or spectacular ones, but when he's needed, he's there. And to be fair, he's actually made some great saves in the past, but I'm not sure. England to win? I personally don't think so, but they have a chance. I think Brazil have a better team than England. Same with a few others that I mentioned. But you never know. It's about who turns up in those 7 games. That's what it's about. So honestly, they have a chance. I share my birthday with Zlatan, who I despise. Wow, that's an interesting dynamic. Yeah, Zlatan's kind of that guy, isn't it? You hate him or love him, basically. Hope you're playing FPL World Cup, bro. Yeah, it's a possibility. I think it's quite likely that I will. I did it with Euros. There's going to be a big Premier League break anyway, so I think the World Cup will be the substitute. Fair enough, Black Lambo. Yeah, I mean, it's difficult to order them. They're really good. But right now, I think Alisson's dropped off a little bit in the last year or 2. He's still very good. I think Mendy's fantastic right now. It's coming home. Yeah. People always say this, though, and it just, I don't know. Good luck to England, I guess, but I'll be honest, I've kind of backed Argentina anyway myself in terms of that's who I'm supporting. So, and England are one of the rivals, so yeah. I can't play the double agent, unfortunately. Hold or sell Mount? I'd hold him right now. If I had him, I'd hold him. But yeah, I can see why you'd want to sell or consider it anyway. So yeah, some pretty interesting questions in the chats. Thank you very much for everyone who's been tuning in, and we're going to be wrapping up now. The lineups are out very soon, so yeah, maybe we could stay in for a little bit more and then wrap up. So yeah, let me know if you want us to stay on for the lineup. But either way, I think we know what's going to happen. So Robertson starting, Jota starting, and also Salah, Trent on the bench, Gomez right back. You can follow me on Twitter and Instagram, DylanRCM, and also the Discord server. You can join us on Patreon and as a channel member. Thank you to Kat for becoming a member recently. It's much appreciated. And same with everyone else who signed up, like John, Aranya, Yorang, and everyone else. Just massive shout out to everyone. And I think we reached over 20 members recently, so it's a great privilege there. Let's go back to our team. I guess people are going to say, yeah, just stay for the 5 minutes. Why not? What do you think about boycotting the World Cup? The thing is, I don't think anyone's going to do it, but I think it. Look, I think it's actually. Look, I would boycott the World Cup, yes, but the thing is, it's not going to happen, basically. So it's kind of a difficult one. No one's going to do it. Let's just be real. There's too much money at stake, and yeah, FIFA won't let it happen. They'll put huge sanctions on the teams that do it, I think. I captain Kane. Hope I didn't F up. It's a great choice, mate. He's the most informed player right now in the Prem. Salah hasn't really been the same since the African Cup of Nations. He's still a great player, by the way. He hasn't lost it. But, yeah. I think it's a good choice. But I still gone for Salah this week. He's got a great record against Watford, as some viewers pointed out. Messi has a really good chance of winning the World Cup this year, as well as Ronaldo. Last chance for them. They've got a chance, yeah. I mean, Argentina have got a 31-game unbeaten run, which is incredible. I'm wearing the shirt, by the way, but obviously, don't get too pissed off or anything, anyone who hates the national team. But yeah, look, Brazil have a great chance as well. Look, there's so many teams, honestly, to really talk about. So it's going to be interesting. Portugal, I'd say probably 7th or 6th in terms of the most likely to win it. But that doesn't mean they can't win it, basically. But it's very rare for a team that's never won the World Cup to then go on to win it. Obviously, Spain was the last one, but then we're going back a really long time. I think 1998, when France won their first World Cup. So let's wait and see. Yeah, okay, we're going to be staying for the lineup as well. But yeah, 3 minutes left. So if you've got any more questions or comments, let me know. We'll talk about the lineup a little bit briefly and then we'll wrap up. But yeah, be sure to smash the like button as always and help out the channel. I'm just going to check Twitter and see if anything else is here as well. Yeah. Yeah, Trent, Diaz, Mane, all on the bench. There you go. Diaz is on the bench. So yes, Jota, Firmino, Salah as the starting three, according to the COP HQ. Wow, okay, there you go. Yeah, Fabinho is apparently benched. I'm not sure if that's the case, but yeah, quite a few benchings there for Liverpool. So you never know. Maybe Watford's still something. You probably wouldn't say so, but you never know. Yeah, that's pretty much what I've just seen on Twitter. Good differentials. Good differentials. I mean, Weghorst is actually technically a differential. I'm not sure if he's a good one, though. Let's see. So I'd have to check. Robertson is now over 11%. Yeah, he used to be a differential when I got him in, which is a shame. I think Che Adams is a decent one. You know, not many good strikers. Gameweek 33 could do very well with that double. Even 31 against Leeds away. I'd say he's up there. It's a shame. A lot of these players like Kulusevski no longer differentials. I think Calvert-Lewin could be a good differential this week. I'm just not that confident about Everton, and that's why I haven't really talked about him too much. Obviously, he's got better stats than Weghorst, so yeah, those of you who got him in might be in for a nice little shock there. Liverpool or City for the title? I say City, but Liverpool have the momentum right now, so yeah, it could go either way, but I'm going City still. It's going to be interesting, you know, both top teams. For me, they're the two best teams in the world, for sure. And we could easily see a UCL final between them. Also, the FA Cup semi-final should be interesting. Mateta's a differential, yeah, that's a great shout. As a third striker, even Cucho, yeah, I think that's a great shout, mate. That's fantastic. I talked about, you know, in terms of, you know, him and his replacements, instead of Weghorst, which is what most people went for, Mateta, Cucho, even Gelhardt as your kind of third striker. You can always bench them if you're not really too confident in a haul in a particular week. Yeah, that's a great shout. I'm just not that confident about Vieira and his striker policy. Edouard was in good form, had good underlying numbers. Everyone brought him in, and then suddenly he got benched. But yeah, there must be a reason for that, to be fair. But yeah, so there we go. And we are now 1 minute away from the deadline. I'll try get it up on screen as well, by the way, the lineups for Liverpool and Watford. So I'm going to be on their pages and seeing what we get here. But yeah, let's see. Either way, I think we know the majority of it. So just a few kind of question marks about Fabinho. Is he going to start, etc.? So let's wait and see. All right. You all right? It's now 11:30, so we should know the lineups right now. Yeah, the lineup is out. Let me bring it on screen. And yeah, the COP HQ has got it right. So there we go. Here is the lineup. Alisson in goal, Gomez, Matip, Van Dijk, Robertson, Henderson, Jones, Thiago. So yeah, no Fabinho. Salah, Jota, Firmino. And then the subs are Kelleher, Fabinho, Konate, Milner, Mane, Oxlade-Chamberlain, Tsimikas, Diaz, Alexander-Arnold. There you go. So everything was spot on there. We got the early team news, and it actually helped in our decision making. So for example, the fact that Trent was benched, I ended up getting in Reece James in for Connor Cody, and yeah, there you go. I'm now starting Reece James, Robertson and Doherty. So there you go. The early team news was actually a thing. So there we go. Yep, the lineups are out. Yep, Mane's on the bench. Yep, just as we discussed. Is getting Trent for Matip to get Kane in my team worth it? Look, when you put it that way, yes, it's worth it, but I still would rather have Trent. With Matip, I'm not sure if he's going to play every 3 days or so. Liverpool have an insane number of games. I think they play 4 times in 11 days, just like Man City. I'm not sure if Matip is going to play every single game. So yeah, Dennis benched, yeah. Some people got rid of him as well recently, so, you know, fair play. Let me try to get the Watford lineup for you as well, since you just mentioned it. Yeah, this is interesting. Yeah, Watford are definitely going to be sitting back for this, aren't they? So, here we go. Watford lineup as well, as requested. Foster in goal, Lauza, João Pedro, Kamara, Sissoko, Femenia, Samir, Sarr, Kabasele, Hernandez and Kuchka. There you go. And Dennis is on the bench. There you go. Some of Cleverly, Backman and a few others there that probably aren't of FPL interest. King as well benched. Wow. And he actually scored a brace against Armenia in the World Cup qualifiers. Was it World Cup qualifiers? No, I don't think so. No, it was a friendly probably or something. I probably got that wrong. But yeah, there you go. Wow. King and Dennis benched. So that's the kind of big news there for Watford. I'm not sure any of you would have started them anyway against Liverpool. But there you go. Yeah, King benched, yeah. Trent coming on for a brace of assists will be typical FPL. Do not even say that. He's third on my bench. And I was always kind of apprehensive about that. It's just testament of the quality of the player. The fact that Trent is benched and I'm still worried about having him third on my bench, basically. Yeah, the lineups are all out and there we go. In my opinion, Pukki could be an interesting pick. Yes, he could be. Yeah, that's a good point. If you're not free hitting in 33 though, I'd just go for someone like Adams or Weghorst, etc. And I'm actually open to the idea of not free hitting in 33, and that's another reason why I've brought in the Dutchman. Saw hat-trick incoming. I'm not sure about hat-trick, but he could cause problems for Liverpool, especially with all the players that are missing out, like Fabinho, Trent, etc. What do you think of Kucho? I wouldn't say he's nailed completely, but he's in form. That's the thing. And look, he's starting yet again. I mean, I saw a few people say, well, he's not going to play in the next game. But I mean, why? He's in great form. It just doesn't really make sense for him not to play. But I wouldn't expect him to start every single game until the end of the season, basically. That's the way I'd look at it. So now let's go on to my team again. So there we go. We went through the lineups. Liverpool, basically what we talked about with the Cop HQ. Yeah, Kucho's starting. He's called Hernandez. So yeah, he is starting. What else is he called? There's another name he goes by. Yeah, Kucho Hernandez. Only 5 million, exactly. I talked about him before. He's probably my ideal pick for a third striker spot. You know, if you're looking for a bench fodder option as well from time to time, you can bench him against Liverpool, then starting in those easier games later on. Yeah, he's actually my preference over Mateta just because he's shown a bit more in the Premier League. He's got 2 double-digit returns in his last 3 games. So yeah, he's looking pretty good. Those are the lineups. That is my team right now. Just for those of you who missed out, I made 2 free transfers. Reece James in for Cody. Almost said Trent. He's on my bench still. I kept him. Weghorst came in for Jimenez. 2 free transfers. Pretty standard stuff. And Salah is my captain. Broja, Tierney, Trent on my bench. Sarr is my second goalkeeper. He can come on for Ramsdale if needed. Unless something happens to Jose Sarr as well. So thank you very much once again to everyone who tuned in. You know the drill, and it really helps out the channel if you subscribe. Hit the notification bell so you never miss a single upload or stream. There's plenty more content coming along across the rest of the week. There could be a reaction stream tomorrow. I'll let you guys know about that. And yeah, let's just enjoy the day, enjoy the rest of the week. These are my socials, Dylan RCM. We've reached 1,000 followers on both platforms, so thank you very much. On Discord, we're almost at 200 members, so be sure to check that out. We also keep each other updated, rate each other's teams, and talk about football, FPL, F1 Fantasy, and UCL Fantasy. And speaking of that, you can also check out the content for that on the playlist in the channel. There's going to be more UCL Fantasy content coming along, including a deadline stream on Tuesday. That should be very interesting. I'll be confirming my 5 transfers. Remember, we get 5 transfers ahead of match day 9. So all the best of luck for this week. I'll try and go through 1 or 2 more comments if there is any. Yeah, is James going to play today? I believe so. It's a risky move that I made, but I think he will play. I'm more concerned about Reece James in Gameweek 32, to be honest. Does Watford play with 4-4-2? Yes, but they do change it up from time to time. That's the thing. Great stream, Dylan. Thanks for your help. Thank you, Alex. Much appreciated as always. Thank you, Singh. And yes, reaction stream. Let's wait and see. Hopefully we all have some green arrows. Let's wait and see there. Thank you, Discord in my head, and everyone else for tuning in. And let's just enjoy the rest of the day. Enjoy the football as always. And I'll see you next time. And the dog is barking right now.